Good morning, everybody. My name is Tom, and you are watching/listening to Non-Standard Action. We are playing Fly Free or Die, We're No Heroes, and this is episode 2, a different kind of supply run. With me today are my 5 wonderful players. Going around the table, I will ask the icebreaker question, and then I'll have you all introduce yourselves, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and then answer the icebreaker question, finally. So, today's icebreaker question is, what is your character's most used emoji? And let's start with Jet.
Hi, I'm Jet. I'll be playing Gus. I am he, him, and he is he, him. As far as the icebreaker question goes, Gus doesn't have one specific emoji. He tends to use all of the ones that, like the sexual related emojis, but it's completely innocent. He'll be like cooking in the kitchen and he'll be like, hey, everybody, I have fire emoji, eggplant emoji. Anyone want some? You know?
Anybody want some of this hot eggplant?
You know, stuff like that.
Maybe later,
Right.
Peach.
Yeah.
Peach
After
and then water gush, the drop.
yeah, it's a peach smoothie, obviously.
Obviously.
It's a refreshing drink.
Oh, good. Going around in Discord order next, I see a Leif. Leif, pronouns, and what's Catch's most used emoji?
Oh. Why is my thing beeping at me? I assume you guys can hear me, though.
We can.
Yes.
Hi. Leif, they, them, playing catch, he, him. And just taking a second to appreciate my stay awakes in liquid form here.
Make a fortitude saving throw.
No, I'm not going to roll those. Those are made of stone. I don't want to roll those on a hard surface.
You can roll them in D20 in roll 20, man.
Oh, that's right. No,
We have technology.
we have the power. No. And you might think that I'm stalling for time, but I am not in fact stalling for time. I know exactly what Catch's most used emojis are. They are again the eggplant and peach emojis, but not because he's innocent.
Whoa.
Mm.
Oh, snap. Yet another thing for Gus and Catch to bond over. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't you have to share similar? You know what? Never mind.
Excellent. Next up, Liz. Who are you playing?
Hey, I'm Liz. I use she, her, and I'm playing Auntie Nuna, who also uses she, her. Auntie Nuna's, what would you call it? Most used. Auntie Nuna doesn't use emojis. She's old school, and she uses those like ASCII like things made out of characters. So like the table.
Yeah,
flip.
like the table flip thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's written scripts so that when she does, colon parentheses, it doesn't turn into an emoji because she wants to make sure that she is completely understood.
All right. Excellent. And Nick, who you got?
Hi, I'm Nick. I use whatever pronouns. And Sloan, I play Sloan, who uses she, her pronouns. Sloan's most used emoji, probably the angry one with the symbols over the mouth that implies that she's cursing about something.
Excellent.
Anger.
Yeah.
The angry girl.
Particularly when a trade deal falls through, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot in your line of work?
No, it doesn't. Trust me.
It's almost like the circumstances around this AP are extraordinary. And last but certainly not least, Simon. Who are you playing?
I'm Simon, he, him. I'm playing Maraeoth, they, them. I was torn between two emoji for Maraeoth. However, both of them are the most boring of the ones that we have selected. I apologize. Maraeoth likes the wave emoji whenever meeting new people and acknowledging someone coming onto the ship. Alternatively, the Z's emoji when dealing with, like, any boss.
Yeah. How, all right. Awesome.
Did it turn into, like, the wave emoji, like, in the air?
How,
Oh. Yeah, they could do that up.
How
So
Genie
that
from
sounds like
Aladdin
too
are you
much.
like?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to play that. I mean, I do love my squishy boys being able to turn into things, but I don't want to play that card too often.
Mhm.
Well, see, I always thought that they should be like the School of Fish in Finding Nemo that they get directions from.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Yeah, that School of Fish only has one voice though. Very unrealistic.
No, it was definitely a chorus of voices, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
All right, I'll find it again on.
We're gonna have to find clips later.
Yep.
Because for now, we are going to get right into it. So we are last week. What happened was we met our band of fearless heroes. I mean, working stiffs. On Castroville, where they picked up their newest party member, Ketch. If I may say, smoking hot tiefling, who everybody when they see his art is just, whew, thank you. They picked him up at the docking bay and headed on to their job on Castroville, where they were headed to Runo Pratt's Produce to meet with Runo Pratt himself of Pratt's Produce. Pratt's Produce produced some yarrow berries for our heroes to procure. I'm going to stop with the P's.
We only ate some of them.
And you only ate 10 credits worth. So, yes, and you all helped him out with his tablet. He seemed to be having goblin issues on his tablet, which revealed itself to be foreshadowing. Crazy. Because, yes, Nick, you looked like you were going to...
Oh no, I think
sorry.
she was just pressing a button on the headset.
Oh, goodness me. I interrupted myself.
You did.
That's going to happen. But yes, so goblins attacked your convoy, your cargo trailer. You dealt with them with swift and blinding violence, but not before their robot nearly knocked out Sloan in one hit with a critical hit. That was a lot of fun. It was a deadly session. Deadly first session.
It was very.
Yeah. You all bluffed the cops when they started to question you about what happened. They didn't believe you were responsible, but Sloan was like, "Oh yeah, we'll totally follow you back to the station. Just let me." And then, whoops, missed the wrong turn. Headed to Akiton, where you wanted to sell these fruits to your buyer. You got there, you discovered your buyer was not there anymore. It is now under the store you were going to sell to is now under new management by the. Not sketchy at all. Ichihara Holdings. Definitely not sketchy.
That's there underneath their like header, you know. Ichihara Holdings, not sketchy at all.
Not sketchy at all. And yes,
In the
Some of us know that they are.
like company commercial is just a bunch of people. Not sketchy at all.
it's just yeah. It's a bunch of people like.
But it's done in a cartoon style, and the style is very sketchy looking.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got there, found Ichihara Holdings, talked to somebody named Ainsley, who told you that she was not going to buy your fruits at all. And then she was like, "Okay, fine, I'll take them off your hands for 50%." and that's the best deal you're going to get. Once again, foreshadowing revealed that this was, in fact, the best deal that you were going to get, it seems, as you went around saying, oh, I don't need this, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. And as a result, you found you wouldn't get a better deal. Not only that, the 2 Shobad enforcers that she had with her came by and tried to strong-arm you into selling them to their boss. And then you killed them too. But again, not before they nearly killed you.
Level 1 is very scary.
Level 1 is a terrifying place.
Everyone is like a single breath of wind away from death.
A stiff breeze from KO.
Oh yeah, that's
Flickering
one
candle
crit,
flames.
Speak for yourselves, frontliners.
One crit. Yeah, one crit after you've taken just a smidge of damage and you're in the danger zone.
Yes.
Point of order. Someone did make a culture check to know that Ichihara Holding is indeed sketchy.
Oh, it's super. Yes. 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 The subtext there when I said not sketchy at all was I was trying to imply that, yeah, they're totally sketchy. They are, in fact.
That's why they're sketchy?
They are sketchy because of their parent company, the Golden League. And by parent company, I mean they seem to be a company set up solely to launder money for the Golden League, an intergalactic crime conglomerate that has their fingers in pretty much every pie. So, yeah. That's why they're sketchy. They are, in fact, sketchy. As evidenced by the fact that they sent 2 Shobad enforcers to tell you all to sell your yarrow berries to them. And then when you said no, they tried to stab you with giant pikes. Well,
But now their giant pikes are ours.
now their giant pikes are indeed yours, which I did put in chat. Make sure that you have. I'm going to assume
warn
that you are.
them.
I think they're there.
Yeah.
Someone tried
Yeah.
to warn them that they attacked us, they were running up dead. They didn't listen.
Yeah. They made a good showing of it. But yes, you are
They
right.
tried real hard.
Yeah. So, today, we don't come in at the end of that fight, however. We are going to take a trip down memory lane. We're going to have a flashback to, we enter about 2 months, an indeterminate amount of months, somewhere between 1 to 3 months ago, with Sloan and Auntie Nuna sitting aboard their new starship, the BD-514. You two have just secured your job here at Evgenia Jameson Corporation as a ship's captain, middle management kind of positions. It's been explained to me that this is something that corporations do a lot, is hire new people on for middle management positions, such as a ship's captain who would deal with these kinds of trades and whatnot. So you all just got your jobs here, maybe through, falsified resumes or something. Who knows?
Why would you think that?
Listen,
I'm sure if you look closely, you'll see. I'm sure that if you look closely, you'll see that those resumes are completely legitimate.
Why, yes, that's a perfectly normal thing to say. You're totally right. So the two of you are sitting on the BD-514, and you've got a handful of dossiers. Dossier might be a bit generous. It's like a 1 to 2 page document on employee files for some various employees, with employment records, histories, any infractions they might have committed, et cetera, et cetera. To build your 4-person crew out of. You know that crews typically are comprised of 4 people, which is a very convenient number. And so, yeah, you're going through these. So
4 people plus the captain, right?
No, 4 people, period.
So we're overbooked.
You are overbooked. Didn't remember how the cab is only designed for 4 people on that cargo rig.
Yeah, that's why they had to
Tarika
squeeze
pulled
in.
some strings.
Yeah, no, exactly. Tarika pulled some strings, a lot of, and it's Sloan, so Sloan, Ketch is a whole nother thing. You're going to notice that Ketch's dossier is not in this little scene here. But, so you're going through here, Sloan, who else, whose dossier do you think you pull out first? And it doesn't have to be 2 of our, Marayoth.
Now, if you look through that folder that I've just shared with you, you'll find the dossiers of all the people that my algorithm was able to tag as possible fit.
Oh, we want to make sure they're not too loyal to the company.
Yes, I selected for a couple with disciplinary issues.
Well, not this one. This one doesn't look like it has any disciplinary issues. They?
I think the
What do you call a swarm of bugs?
Spathinae, dear. Yes, I quite liked them, though. They've done a remarkable job of absolutely failing to distinguish themselves for 31 years. That takes, well, I was going to say effort, but it takes a remarkable lack of effort.
Or just the right amount of effort.
That's true.
Yeah, it
Still,
says
30 years, you don't think they're
31.
31. You don't think they're loyal to the company? You don't think
I
they'd
think-
rat us out?
They have absolutely no records of ratting any employee out in 31 years.
yeah.
That's fair, I suppose.
Yeah, their little file here says 31 years employment history, which notably is before Evgenia Jameson Corporation had their big merger. So Marayoth has been here for some time. They have worked pretty tirelessly in the exact same position amongst many different crews, never really advancing, never requesting promotions, never getting involved in any kind of illicit behavior that you might see on some shippers, etc. So, yeah.
I'd like to have someone who keeps their head down. But it's up to you, dear. You're the captain.
Well, I guess we can put them on the short list. Who else have you got?
There was this one.
And she pulls up Gus's file.
Mining accident. Well, that's a good reason not to be loyal to the company. This one would probably come along if we took off.
Yes, if you notice, I've tagged him as desperate.
Agreed. Probably.
Yeah.
Not too bright either, according to his assessment.
Probably just
Yes,
the type if we showed a little bit of appreciation would go right along with our plan.
Yes. Plus, nice and strong. I don't want to pop my back out again.
I don't want you to pop your back out again either. I had trouble getting you back to bed the last time.
And you were such a good help, dear.
Aw.
Plus, I like his portrait. Look at those eyes. He looks like a sweet boy.
Oh,
Sweet, desperate, and dumb. Perfect.
good. It's a good combination. All right, Auntie.
Is there anyone in the folio that got turned down?
I bet there was at least one who was probably a bit too rowdy. Maybe had a couple moments of or a couple infractions for, like, public indecency or something like that, where they got too drunk on one of their jobs and sort of mucked up the negotiations.
There is this one. An Astrozoan. Looking for a transfer from another company.
Get to write Herald like that.
Auntie Nuna shares a significant look with Sloane and then just kind of tosses the file over her shoulder. It gets deleted.
I imagine Sloane would have liked the rowdy one, and Auntie Nuna would have talked her out of it. No, Morales is better. Keeps their head down.
Heads.
There's 61,000
Not
heads.
here.
Sorry.
We're going to have to practice pronouns.
True. But eventually they settle on these two.
Perfect. And so yeah, you submit the necessary paperwork to get them added to your team, and you all become the crew of the BD514. Later down the line, Tarika, in fact, very recently, Tarika sends you a message saying that she has one more addition for your crew. It's pretty unorthodox to have a crew of 5 people. Typically, the company wants things to be very uniform. But she's managed to pull some strings because this is somebody important to her from her past. So she sends you a dossier on Ketch, who is a tiefling. Doesn't really have much information. Really, when I say dossier, this is just her telling you, hey, these are some qualities of Ketch that'll make him a good addition to your team. He's mechanically minded. He'll be able to fix anything you want. He can be a bit hot-headed sometimes, but knowing you, Sloane, you'll be able to keep him in line and/or manage that. Yeah, he has a propensity for getting into trouble, but I think you all will be good for him. And she seems very fond of this Ketch.
Sloane welcome this unrequested addition to the team.
Well, Tarika's been pretty good to us so far. Especially considering the crew of misfits we've picked up. I don't know about being good for this Ketch, but
You know I'm always a sucker for a hard luck, Kate.
you are, and you could use some help down in the engine room.
I get along all right.
When Auntie
Sure,
Nuna,
but a young strong back couldn't hurt.
And
Gross.
when Auntie When Auntie Nuna mentions that she's a sucker for a hard luck case, we have a brief flashback within a flashback to Auntie. Just a flash of a memory of a ship on fire and a young Asmar found in the wreckage. And then she flashes back to present in the flashback. But, yeah.
I think Sloan was probably like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, don't you know the cardinal rules never do a flashback in a flashback?
Quick, spin the top! Spin the top!
I recall that there's a whole episode of Firefly that's a series of flashbacks inside a flashback.
A flashback of having flashback.
In which we introduced
Anyhow.
the crew.
Yeah. So, I think we'll fade back into present day as you all are breathing heavily after being accosted by these Shobad enforcers. Y'all are looking pretty worse for wear, but not as bad as the 2 large monstrous humanoids laying dead at your feet. What do you do?
Ketch is untouched, so he just kind of hops up, walks up to the frontliners, walks up to Gus, and just kind of like looks at the dead Shobad on the ground, looks at Gus, and then kind of like, Way to go, bud, and slaps him like right on the back way too hard. How much damage he's taken, I'm sure.
I hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, Ketch wasn't touched, was he? Nor Auntie Nuna. I don't think Ketch has taken any damage this entire AP yet. We'll have to fix
It's
that.
only been one episode. Calm down there.
Marath will twirl sort of distraught over these corpses and say, maybe it would be wise for us to leave.
Based on what I know of Akiton, if we could just stick them in a corner, they'll get picked up later.
Yeah, weekend
Gus
at
is not
Bernadette style.
Gus is not entirely wrong. Remember, Akiton is a fairly lawless place. The only, and specifically in the hive market, the only real sort of semblance of law enforcement are the Kulan, the mysterious, ghost-like fae people that have that weird. I'll show you another image.
No, no.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, no,
Uncanny Valley.
that's the character sheet. Hold on, you don't.
Just stand by,
sheet?
ready
No,
to click X. Click X.
This is very convenient.
All the clones, yes.
Let me
Sure.
transition over so that our audience can experience it with us.
Of course, yes, please. Everybody must suffer along with us. The Kulan, for dear listener, is sort of like they almost look like mermaid depictions, right? Where their faces sort of, maybe I'm thinking because of the sort of gill-like or fin-like protrusions off of their body. But yeah.
I picture creature from the Black Lagoon, got it on with a gray, and that's the result.
Yep.
Yeah, and
They're cut.
a lot
Kulans
like
are cut.
yeah, they're cut, but basically, if you start from the bottom working up, it's like, okay, it's kind of monstrous and scaly, but he's cut. You could work with it until you get to like the neck, and then everything from chin up is Bat Baby, and it just no.
Bag
It
over
is
their
that
head.
baby. Yeah, I just need a bag over that.
So you did see these Kulan, but
Sorry, Tom. I was going to say, to be fair, it does make them very efficient enforcers of the law if everyone is terrified of them.
yeah. And they are, what you know of them, they are enigmatic. They're very mysterious. What you know pretty much everything about them, and you don't really know that much about them. They patrol the hive market. Nobody really knows why, but they do. They are the law, such as it is, and they're that's it. They patrol the market. So, you might hear from them, you might not. But yeah, for now.
I did tell the Showbots that I was going to go tell on them.
Yeah, that didn't seem to deter them.
No.
Almost as if there was
Not
somebody
at all.
worse to be afraid of.
So, what are we doing, Captain? Are we going to still sell the berries?
We need to sell those pronking berries. Caught myself. Did it right.
Proud of you.
Suppose we go back to Ainsley and tell her enforcers are dead.
Before we do that, can we, see a doctor or something? Ow!
We'll stop off at the market and get a couple of Mark 1 serums of healing for you, dearie.
I'm gonna sit down for 10 minutes. I'll be fine. Ah!
I'll make you some tea.
Yeah, sit down for 10 minutes. Gus, we don't need to go right this second.
We would also like tea.
Captain, didn't you get hit too?
Looks at the bleeding wound in her side, missing half of her hit points. It's just a flesh wound. I'll be fine.
I'll make everyone some tea.
Aren't most wounds in flesh?
Yes. Yes, Murray, they are.
It's when they get to the bones and the organs that it's real bad, Marath.
So then, is it called a organ wound?
Yes.
Hey, now that's a good question.
That is a great question. We call them mortal wounds, right? But like,
I like bone wounds. I'm gonna say I have a bone wound from now on instead of like, oh, I broke my finger.
Starts to say something sarcastic about what Maria just said, and then just like stops with her head down.
Yes.
We
I
have
think that's
numerous
what
all
it
the
is.
way through wounds.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Why don't you sit down?
We are.
I'm gonna. Auntie Nuna brings out 2 cups and a big, and a cup for herself, and then a big wide dish that she pours the tea out into for Maria, so that the constituents can like line up at the edge and sip.
Much appreciated. And instead, Maraeus just sort of like, kind of lands in a clump on the dish, and then like, the mass of the storm sort of churns as each of the different constituents sort of get like one handful.
oh no!
They don't work together to just like grab some on the outside and pass it back into the inner bugs.
Like a little, like a.
It's a very efficient line in like a circle, right?
Like a
They
circuit.
use their little
yeah.
social stomachs.
Meanwhile,
Kind of
all the
picturing
bugs
it
on
like
the
a
inside-
chorus of bugs just rotating.
yeah.
When you just sort of churn up to the edge,
Mhm.
everybody takes a little sip
Yep.
as you raise the cup to your mouth.
Meanwhile, Marriott's local news
Mouse.
company, local
doing
news
air quotes.
organization.
What about the local air company, Leif?
Marriott's local news covering the red lines are moving quickly today, and Marriott Central.
Foreign aid has been delivered.
From the Auntie Nuna constituency. I'm sorry. Single organism. In
I like
light
how
of the
inside
terrible,
Marioth is a little bit crazy.
Form a line in an orderly fashion at the bull's edge.
This just in, 20,000 constituents were murdered by a giant pike swinging through the constituency today. Sending out a call for more constituents.
The breeding
God.
program is now in full effect. Everyone, get it on.
And the flag has been lowered to half-mast in respect for our loss.
Thousands and thousands of tiny little salutes.
Yes.
Right.
21 microgun salute. Little bug-sized guns with little bug-sized funerals.
Alright, now this is just getting absurd. We don't have tiny guns.
Tiny city inside Morath. Okay.
So, that's a thing. You all take 10-minute rest. Shockingly, there doesn't seem to be much consternation from any and all neighbors to your ship's docking location. Remember, you're out sort of like concert parking, right, on a desert field.
Right. And we have. All right. We have multiple problems. We have dead shobods outside the ship.
Yeah.
We can bring
What's the
them
other problem?
elsewhere.
We need to convince Ainsley to pay us more. Do we want to let her sit and stew on the fact the showbots have not come back, or do we want to move on this quickly?
I think I'd like to press our advantage.
We should send them a message.
You mean
Cut
Yeah,
off
that's a good idea.
one of their hands and mail them to them.
Or, oh yeah, we could just send them back. I was gonna say, Auntie could send a message pretty easily. But Catch, I like your thinking on this.
Well, we do have 2 hover carts, or what are the hell? Hover forklift.
Yeah, hover cart.
Grav pallets.
What time is it about, Tom?
It was okay. So this is like I should have written down which day this was on because that matters for the berries. I think we were on day 4 because
We had 1 day in
Yeah.
the drift.
1 day in the
And then
drift,
we
a day
had
to load
load
and
up
then
and
unload
take
them
it in,
onto
and
your
then-
ship, and then so
Yeah.
this is the beginning
and
of
then a
day
of looking
4.
for a buyer. To the beginning of day 4.
Yeah.
All right. So what if we load the bodies onto the hover cart, take them and dump them out back of the shop? Leave her a note saying we're coming back for payment tomorrow, and then we can rest up, get something to fix up our wounds, and go back tomorrow.
Maybe she will have more Chopad at that point.
It gives her a little bit of time to repair, but also time to think about the fact that that her enforcers didn't stand much of a chance against us. Or we could just take them, dumb them at her feet, and demand payment now.
We are fine with whatever you decide.
Yeah, just as long as we see a doctor or something on the way over. Both of us need it, Captain.
This is quickly becoming a theme for Gus, and I love it.
Well, time when we're not getting paid is time that we not getting paid.
A
If we
famous
want to
Gus
be-
nothing saying.
Yes.
If we'd like to be more efficient, perhaps we should go now.
Alright, we can stop and get some medical supplies on the way, I suppose.
Of course.
Alright, so... Alright. Gus, Catch, get those bodies on the cart.
Yeah,
We
sure.
will help too.
Totally, Captain.
Yeah, it always catch, load the bodies, catch, move this, move that.
We will help catch.
No, I
Yeah.
got it.
Maria, make sure you lift with all of your backs.
Not all of our backs are necessary. Most of them are unsuitable for lifting heavy objects.
Catch just kind of like shoots Gus a side eye, just like watching to see if his back goes out, purely for entertainment purposes. After that comment,
Oh, it doesn't, but he does cough a little bit of blood after he heaves one of those bodies up on the pallet jack.
Oh God.
Yeah. Gus ain't right. Gus ain't doing well. So you get these bodies loaded up, and get ready to go over and extort a perfectly legitimate business owner who sent these nice people over to talk to you all that you then murdered.
Perfectly
Yeah.
legitimate.
Yep, perfectly legitimate, totally. No, so you load up these thugs to go show to another thug to tell that thug to buy your goods. Do you make any effort to hide the fact that these are 2 bodies on this hover cart that you're going to cart through the streets of the Hive Market?
I'll
that's
get
what
some
you do.
tarp.
I was gonna say.
I was
I'll
gonna
get some tarps.
Tarps?
I was gonna say we put sunglasses on them and like pose them like they're hugging each other on the back.
Now, a hover cart is different from your cargo rig. The hover cart, right? Like, I was picturing, and I might be wrong, I thought when you said hover cart that it was just like the little dolly thing. Are you just dragging them into town on your dolly or in your cargo rig?
Well, if we're expecting payment, wouldn't we take the cargo? So I figured we hover carted them onto the rig. That was my thought process.
It'll take us
can
8
get out of there.
hours to load the cargo rig.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that
Oh.
again.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
They
assumed that the berries were
for
already there.
For all the trouble they put us through, they can come and get the boxes themselves at this point, I feel.
I see.
Personally, I would like have the stuff there so you can exchange the creds and go, and then never have to see them again.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can leave it at the spaceport. They can get it. It's their problem once we've passed it off.
Yeah,
Spending
no,
8 hours
we
loading up
bought-
the cart again
Yeah.
is a bad idea, guys.
True.
I don't disagree with that. For some reason in my head we didn't unload it,
Oh no,
No,
they're
we
definitely.
did.
They need to be unloaded because there's no room for the cargo rig to. The trailer hitch has to be folded up to fit onto your ship.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just bad memory on my part.
It's okay. It's something to get used to. It's frankly incredible that you can fit an 18-wheeler onto your cargo ship along with 50 tons of goods anyway.
I was figuring that these hover carts were more like, the carts at Home Depot.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
A dolly is not like a cart at Home Depot, so.
Okay. I reached for the wrong word. I apologize. But yes, like the carts from Home Depot. That's what the hover cart is.
Yeah, we throw them on there. We put a tarp over them.
Okay. So you do that, and you head back to Ichihara Holdings. Yes. Ichihara Imports. I apologize.
We stop on the way, and buy a med kit. Puppy.
Puppy.
Sorry.
That's a big pupper. This is a pup date from Leif.
Grows so fast.
We interrupt this Starfinder game already in progress to bring you update.
Update. What is the name of the puppy?
Oh, this is Nuggles. The rest of the litter, believe it or not.
Oh,
I love that name.
No official name yet, though. That was just her baby name.
she's getting a
Beautiful
neck.
pup.
She has a neck now.
Oh yes, a neck and a tummy that loves rubbins.
Oh my
it goes
gosh.
So fast.
Yeah.
They were
my goodness.
potatoes.
Wonderful pup.
I apologize for nothing.
You've just earned. No, apologize not at all, because you've just earned yourself a reroll from Drunk Fat Ninja. Thank you, Drunk Fat Ninja, for the pup date, is what he says.
It's all
So,
bribery, that's all it is.
yes, of course. So you get your med kit of the basic variety, I imagine. Garden variety med kit. And then head over to Ichihara Imports.
Well, hold on. We get the med
Also
kit,
use the med
and then
kit.
someone with a medicine skill uses said med kit.
And who is that someone?
I think it's Catch.
Yes, according to the employee records, Catch has a little bit of medical experience. That's quite
And
interesting.
hearing that, Catch is like genuinely surprised that that's included in his file.
Tarika
Medical
remembers that
experience,
one
I only just you know what? Yeah, never mind. I can take a look at you, Gus.
He took some first aid classes at the Y.
You should also look at the captain if you have time.
Also us.
Roll me that medicine check, Leif, and tell me who you're
Alright.
looking at first.
We're just we're gonna shotgun this three rapid succession. It's gonna go Gus, Captain, Simon.
Oh, Simon isn't in this game. That would be Maria.
You need a medicine check for that sick burn to be delivered at a later date, I'm sure. Gus.
Ooh.
Sloan. Mary.
None of those
Ooh.
succeed.
Oh yeah, we've got an 11, a 15, and a 14.
What happens
the
when you can't roll above a 7, guys?
The number you were looking
yeah,
for
the
was
DC
a
is 25.
25, yes.
You had to get an 18. It's not. No one's mad. We tried.
And it's only one
Yeah.
hit point because we're level 1.
I was gonna say, seems like a pretty futile attempt at this level, anyways.
That is
Yeah.
alright. It is very difficult to use a medkit on a Spathinae colony. It takes a lot of practice.
I like Ninja's idea that you Fonzie punched us to try and get us better.
Hey, buddy, feel better.
How you doing? Just whack right in the bullet wound.
That'll make him feel better. So, after some tough love from Catch, nobody feels better physically. And then
And that's a common theme when working with Catch.
and then you all finally head over to Ichihara Imports with these two bodies that you just left on a cart.
Brought on a cart.
Catch. While
Right.
you were looking at Gus's wounds, he wasn't bleeding extra. His wounds weren't closing rapidly, but in the wound, you saw like silvery churning going on.
Gross.
Says the 61,000 bug colony.
Hey, at least we're not like silvery churning, just regular purple churning.
Our churning is natural, inspired by God. His is unnatural, made by man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, tell me what you do at Ichihara Imports.
We bring the cart up to the back door and Sloan pounds on it. Most intimidating pound upon the door.
It takes a second, and then you hear footsteps come up to the door. Boom, 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 boom. Door slams open. All right, how'd it go, you two? Oh. Where are my boys?
Sloan dramatically pulls the tarp off the cart.
Huh.
I warned them, to be fair, that they shouldn't attack us, but they did anyway.
All right.
Now,
All right.
about that deal. I know you intimidated everyone in town into a 50% price, and I know you can do better. So, are you ready to come back to the table? Or, do you want to end up like your boys here?
Roll me an intimidate. That sounded pretty intimidating.
22.
Yeah, she's fairly cowed by that. She's trying to put on like a brave face, trying to not seem shaken by this. But you see past it after you intimidate her. She sort of cowers a little bit and says, "Look, there's no need for you to get unreasonable here. But what you do need to understand is that I'm not the one who makes the calls here. I can only offer you so much because I have a boss. You know how that is. You work for Edge Corp. There's only so much I can offer you. That's it. Because I don't have the keys here."
All right. Then point me to the person with the keys.
Oh, you're not going to find them. I'm sorry.
And this is your
Sense motive.
castle. Okay.
What number are you able to give us?
27. On the sense motive.
You know that everything she's telling you is true, and that she's confident in what she says, meaning that she's certain that nobody else in her company is going to want to talk to you about this deal. What she's offering you is going to be the best that she can do. And
All right.
what she can offer you, as Marayoth asks, what can you offer us, is she'll give you, the best she can do is 60% of what you what you were originally offered. That's already with me pulling some strings. Like I said, this isn't... Now it's my problem because I've gotten myself involved in it, I understand, but I don't have any contract with Edge Corp, so nor does Ichihara Imports. So you should really consider this the best deal that you're going to get.
Auntie Nuna will sort of under her breath ask Sloane,
Do you think any of the other companies that we spoke with that lowballed us before would be able to raise their price now that they're not going to be leaned on?
Who said anything about not leaning on? With your knowledge of smuggling and Nuna's knowledge of Ichihara Holdings being a subsidiary of the Golden League, you know that just because you killed 2 of their enforcers, that's not going to put pressure on the company itself. That is merely putting pressure on Ainsley. So, in short, no, that's not going to change the offer that you're getting from those other companies out in the market, because Ichihara Imports is still putting the pressure on them, even if Ainsley now is scared of you.
So messed up. You acquire a company, you still have to pay their debts. This is illegal and wrong. I would know, right? 'Cause I'm a criminal.
Welcome to Akiton, dear.
Gus throws up some tattered confetti.
You're still breaking the law because technically you took over this import business and you still owe on their debts. I could just go to the whatchamacallit, the Kulon.
She holds
You're
up.
breaking a trade deal.
She holds up, a data pad, and on it there is a contract signed by Siski that says, that in so many words obviates her from any contracts that Siski had signed on.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes, like when you go like bankrupt, right? Like some of the investors just don't get their money.
Oh, believe me, I know. Who's the one who does this for a living? Me.
Yeah.
Or is it Jason too, anyway, for a living? Sometimes you just don't get paid. That's true.
I feel like Mariah
There's
would
like
say
a
that.
3-year process on this. You can't just stiff people.
Captain, if we may have a word, we have been on a number of jobs that have ended up like this. Sometimes we just do not get paid. It is okay. We can do another shipment. We will not starve to death.
Gus's stomach rumbles.
Fine, we'll take 60, but you're sending people to pick it up at the port. Or from our ship. We're not putting in any more labor if they're not getting paid.
All right. I'll get some guys to come over, and they'll take care of it for you. And you all, make the arrangements. They'll come over at X time and pick up your goods, and she will transfer you the credits once they have picked up the goods.
Did you hear that, Gus? No more hard labor today.
Yay!
All right. Let's get some rest while we wait for these mother pronkers to come pick up their blame.
Okay. All right, so you all head back to your ship. If there's anything else you would like to pick up from the Hive Market while you're here, speak now or forever hold your credits.
Yeah, we do need to still, like, in game time, take and sell our one crate.
Yeah, that's right.
And the gear we took off the showbods, and then spend our credit.
Yep.
But I figure in character we'd probably want to, get some rest first, and maybe.
Oh, sure.
Because I have a sneaky suspicion Gus isn't gonna go with us to liquidate the loot. But,
And to be clear, when we rest, we only get back like 1 hit point, right?
1 hit point, unless you count left.
See, the thing is,
downtime activity.
Gus is injured and desperately wants to relax, but he's gonna go with his captain.
So.
But yeah, we rest up a little bit. We take this stuff into town and we sell it. Sloan takes a couple of hours to go to a clinic that might be a little bit sketchy, and get a technopathy node installed.
Neat. Okay. Yeah, there's an Akashti at that little augmentation shop. And he very excitedly says, "Oh, a technopathy node. Those are pretty cool. What do you want to use this for, huh? Which you gonna talk to computers? You gonna talk to you got any SRO buddies or anything like that? Like, he's very very hyperactive as he's bustling around getting the different implements.
Very nosy.
Oh, I'm just a starship captain. It's useful to be able to send messages to my crew telepathically,
Oh, sure. He gets to work.
Wait,
It's
does
a pretty
this all
low.
work with the... Did I not read this closely enough?
I was wondering about
Now
that.
that-
Technopathy, not telepathy.
Yeah.
Well, but it says, as a standard action, you send a short message in language you know up to 3 target creatures. But I guess I missed
They have
the...
the construct thing, right?
Oh, drat. Well, I thought I had something cool to spend my credits on. Maybe I don't.
We could see the cost of a species graft because I'm pretty sure there's one that gives limited telepathy.
Species graphs aren't in the SRD yet, though. I have no way to look at them.
I have the books. I
Yeah, and I, as the
Then
GM,
to
I'm pretty
plug
sure
the
I
species
can.
graphs, Jet.
I'm pretty sure I can, share the book with you as your GM. I'm pretty sure that's allowed.
All right, well, I'll look at it again.
Yeah.
Between
But
sessions, if you'll allow it, Tom.
of course, yes. If that was something that you could get and you wanted to get it, that's fine. So that never happened. But
Sorry.
maybe something else happened. Oh no, it's fine. So, all right. So you get back. You have little to no issue selling 1 crate of yarrow berries versus selling 50 tons of yarrow berries. That is a significant difference. So you're able to sell those yarrow berries for the 490 credits that they were worth. Along with any gear that you want to sell. The goons that Ainsley sends work relatively quickly, getting the berries off your ship. You keep an eye on them. They don't really do anything.
Auntie Nuna keeps an eye on them. She just sits there and sips tea.
Fantastic. And then once they have the goods, you all are wired 60% of the amorphous blob of money that you all were contracted for. Because that's a thing that they don't actually give me a figure on in the AP, and ultimately it doesn't really matter, because these credits aren't going to you, they're going to the company and to Runo Pratt, and then you all are paid your salary. Anywho, so you have a decision to make. Because you only got 60% of what you were supposed to get. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to hand all the money over to the company or to Runo Pratt?
Are we voting?
Could be a discussion, could be a vote.
All right, what are we to...
Captain, since we only have 60% of the payment, and Runo Pratt needed some portion of it in order to keep his business and his family fed, but EdgeCorp also expected a certain amount. We will have to decide who we satisfy.
To be clear, Runo Pratt needed 50%. He was expecting 50% of this deal to satisfy his needs.
Right. So if we give him his 50%, EdgeCorp only gets 10, and we get nothing.
Well, presumably presumably it was 50% for him, 50% of EdgeCorp, and then we get paid by EdgeCorp.
Right.
Yeah,
Edgecorp's
yeah, so-
probably not going to pay us.
Yeah, they will be peeved.
Yeah, I don't care so much about peeving EdgeCorp.
Good.
I say we go to Protus guy. Why is this a debate? The captain's already decided. We're pronking EdgeCorp.
This is good.
There's
All
no
right.
way here.
Wait, so we're not getting paid?
We will show you how to find food in places that costs very little credits, Catch.
No,
Oh my gosh, Mariath is a freegan.
We did all this work, and we're not getting paid.
What does it say in our contracts, Auntie? Do they still have to pay us?
Auntie consults the contract. Do we get like a percentage?
So, I'm going to say that because, believe it or not, the detail of how you get paid versus what happens if you don't get paid in full, the full amount of credits on a job wasn't outlined in the AP here. Yeah. I'm going to say that the money that you receive, the assets that you receive on a job, do not directly correlate to your paycheck. So in game, you still get a paycheck regardless of what happens on a job. You can earn not signing bonuses. You can earn bonuses for delivering on time and exceptional performance. This is not something that is familiar with.
Well, Mariah is familiar with like losing it.
Yes.
We will most likely not get a yearly bonus, and we will likely be given particularly poor jobs for a duration of time until our managers forgive us.
But you'll still get your normal paycheck.
Yes. It is possible that we will be fired, but if you flatter your manager sufficiently, that is unlikely to occur.
Don't worry, Catch. We could smooth this over. And after all, it wasn't our fault that this new company had a contract that canceled all the debts with our old contract, and Barry's expire, and we only got the Auntie. What's the math that would work out so that
10%.
This is the 20%. Yes, that's all they would give us. They would only give us 20. I don't know.
But they gave us 6. We see what you are doing there. Yes, very clever.
It's not our fault. We had to do it. They intimidated everyone else in town, and there was nothing we could do.
Well, as long as we're getting paid, I guess. Don't matter to me. puts his hands in his pockets and kind of like shuffles off back to the engine room.
I was gonna say, while everyone was having this meeting, Gus is cooking comfort food.
Oh,
What is
comes
Gus?
out with like a macaroni and cheese casserole.
Everything's vegetarian, but yeah.
So let's take a few days. Tarika said we should look for another job if she hadn't gotten back to us.
Oh no, she said
If we
she said
come back to
go back to. Yes.
Well, let's see if there's something we can take back to Absalom with us, shall we? We made pretty good
Yes.
time.
Always a good idea to have something in the cargo bay.
Make any sense to fly back empty? Tom, can we look for something to bring back? Are we going to throw you for a terrible, terrible loop?
This is not something I had prepared for. If that's what you're asking. Oh no, it's fine.
Sorry.
Take it.
Yeah, no. What? I want to be flexible.
Audience, give Tom ideas for cargo we could find on Akiton to take back.
Oh no, I can come up with cargo.
100
it's just-
gobbly heads.
I'm trying to decide if this would unbalance what the projected, if this would even, well, it doesn't have to make a difference your credit accounts.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot of credits, but also keep in mind that there are 5 of us in an AP design for 4, so you're gonna have to increase the credits a little bit anyway.
Also,
Yeah,
Tom,
but then
if you need some time to think things over, I've got a great RP moment that can buy you some time. Just let me know.
Oh, but I want to pay attention to RP moments. I love RP moments, but I appreciate that. That said, the galactic trading rules aren't to earn you credits. They are to earn you BP or build points in the alternate rules for starship construction. So, long story short, this wouldn't earn you credits. It would earn you BP, which you don't really have a repository for as of yet because you work for the company. So
We could
Jumping the gun a little bit
bring
there.
something back as a proffering to our managers to appease them slightly. That would be mildly convenient.
Yeah, we can just do it for story reasons. We don't have to worry about mechanics.
Sure. So, all right, let me swoop, go down to the galactic trading rules.
Club starter kits.
Hamburger Club starter
What is a
kit.
hamburger club starter kit? Is it just a very small hamburger?
It's a it's
It's
a
just a
build your
bun.
own culinary synthesizer.
And it's Sundivers branded. You know,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
Oh.
like an easy bake oven, but just for burgers.
this is what the crew, the
that's a
Sundivers
grill
have been
guy.
up to. Like, you know, feeling
that's
up
what
control of the
Pinnacle-
company now.
That's what Pinnacle has gone into.
Uh-huh. This is what happens when we put Kaelin in charge. Suddenly there's Burger Club starter kits. Build your own culinary synthesizer with Sundivers logo.
So you all go ahead and make me. So you're going to spend a day looking for cargo. You're going to try and spend the day searching the infosphere, talking with contacts, visiting warehouses or the local starport, etc., etc. So remember, this is similar to finding a buyer, where one person makes a diplomacy or profession merchant or smuggler check.
Thank you. Much obliged.
Of course. And then everybody else can say, I'm helping, to give the primary check maker a +1 bonus, which is cumulative
I'm
for each person.
1, 2, 3,
I'm
4.
helping.
Rayath
Helping.
helps.
It's only a
+4.
+3 because Mariath didn't say, I'm helping. No, it's
We are helping.
18
Sorry, that is-
with my crew helping me.
18. So DC is 10 plus 1.5 times your character level. So yeah, you make it. And you beat
Yay.
DC by 5. So on a success, you find 1d4 lots of cargo that you can buy. So Sloan, at the end of the day, you have found somebody with a cargo, let's say, of yes, that fits under machinery or electronics. So you do find someone with who's trying to offload some Sundiver branded Burger Club starter kits, and they have not to toot my own horn, they have Ninden's face on it. Because
Ninden's handsome face is the obvious choice for marketing, right?
Yeah,
For
I mean,
marketing.
But
doesn't
her
love
face
handsome
can be
face?
as handsome as needed.
But Harald's face changes all the time. It's no good for marketing.
Oh,
Yeah.
and so
Harald was never that-
optional.
Harald was never that involved with Burger Club to begin with. Anyway. But then yeah, so Harald
Ninden is the mascot of Burger Club.
So
Solarians need a lot of calories.
and so do Vanguards.
A lot.
Um,
And Vanguards, yes.
So
Anybody with anyway.
with cosmic powers, yes. So you find somebody with these Burger Club themed culinary synthesizer, build your own culinary synthesizer kits. And they're trying to offload them. They are very grateful. We'll say the race of the person, they're an Ahsoki, all reliable. They're an Ahsoki, and they are
I mean,
looking to
it's a safe
offload these.
bet
They
on
seem very
Akiton.
excited that you all are heading to Absalom Station because that's exactly where it matches up with their buyer. You all, I'm sorry.
Oh, Yosoki is a safe bet on Akiton.
Yes, that's true. Oh wow, my internet just like went on the fritz.
Yeah, it is very It seems better now.
Have I lost connection?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
We hear you.
We can hear
Okay.
you. Can you hear us?
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm back now. I went down to 1 red bar on Discord, and now I'm back at 3 green bars. Very exciting. So,
Ooh, good.
the Ahsoki, who introduces themselves as Zanian, says, so yeah, you could take these to Absalom Station. I know you shouldn't have a hard time selling them there. I don't necessarily. This is going against what I said before. I don't have a buyer, but you shouldn't have a problem offloading these on Absalom Station. Big place like that, lots of people. Everybody loves the Sundivers, you know. So yeah. So they offer you 4 units, which, oh boy, Yes, because you exceeded the DC by 5, you can increase or decrease the amount of cargo by 1 lot. So you found 3 lots of cargo, and you can increase it or decrease it by 1 if you want, because you were so good at finding your buyer. I think you have 4. You can keep 4 lots on your cargo ship because of the cargo bays on it. So, long story short, you can get these 4 things, no problem.
Nice.
Yeah, you can fit all your cargo in there, and then you just need to load those 4 lots onto your ship. Let me double check that, actually, because each lot... Oh, gosh.
I'm hearing that we do have to do hard labor today. I mean, we.
Each one is massing 25 tons. Each lot is 25 tons. So, in fact, you can only fit 2 lots onto your ship after all. So,
Well,
luckily.
I guess we decrease it by 1.
Yeah, which is fine, because these are all pretend numbers anyway. So, you're going to, you'll be able to bring these, build your own synthesizer kits to Absalom Station, whereupon you will find a buyer once you get back. And yeah, we can hand wave the time that it takes for you all to load them, because these are not perishable.
We'll come back. We'll go home. We'll rest. Back the next day, and we'll load them.
Okay.
Gives us
Everybody
another hit
gets-
point back.
Yep, everybody should have gotten 2 hit points back since the Shobad fight.
Nice.
See, that's not Shobad. So
Gus is over half healed.
I'm happy for you.
That's why I'm keeping
Nice,
track, because I want to make sure Gus has some time to heal before we get back.
I can do another round of medicine checks too, if you guys want, for the subsequent days.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, do a set for each evening, actually.
Yeah,
Evening
yeah.
after we
So
find the buyer, and then the
2 more, right?
On
Okay.
each of us.
Yep. I'm gonna go same
This is-
order. Gus Marioth or Gus Sloan Marioth. What?
This is round
Right.
1. Sorry, I was just holding up round 1.
Oh, okay.
You need a little card.
Hey,
Sloan actually gets hit points back.
Sloan does actually get hit points back. Ketch is starting to really figure out how to actually use that med kit. It's different from the materials he's used to using. A little more fancy, a little more like designed for the purpose. But
Yeah,
we don't need
yeah.
to get into that here.
an actual med kit, not just like gleam you found in the alley.
Ripped off a sleeve. Yeah.
Also, ASMR have a similar biology to tieflings, probably more so than bugs and cows.
Yeah, it's inverse, but it's like the exact opposite, so it's not it's really obvious.
I could turn the band-aid upside down.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Sticky side goes out this time. Haha, got it. Nailed it.
ASMR are weird.
And night
And
2,
the next day,
nothing happens.
Nobody
All
gets
right.
hit
Still
points
can't
back.
figure out how to put a band-aid on a swarm of bugs.
uh,
You have to- You have to spray a nanobot mist, and the nanobots will assist us in repopulating.
All right,
Little,
Last
little,
chance at-
little robot sex dolls. Got it.
Yes. Basically, gross.
It'd be more like
I immediately
nanobot,
regretted saying that.
Yep.
nanobot breeding
Yeah,
pheromones or something.
I was thinking about it. I was going to let it go.
all right, crew. Last chance at shore leave before we set out for Absalom Station.
One of those evenings, Gus would have tried to talk to Auntie Nuna alone.
Oh yes, this.
Yeah, he's like, excuse me, Auntie Nuna, there's something I need to talk to you about.
Of course. Come on in, dear. Would you like some
Okay.
tea?
Of course.
She hustles around making tea. Mm-hmm.
So, I think you're a wonderful person, but I feel like I need to address something.
Go ahead, dear.
When we were picking up the berries on Castroville, you were kind of casually racist about the goblins, specious about the goblins, and they're a fine people.
Oh,
I don't like that.
oh. Could you tell me more?
Well, you were just generally disparaging of them as a people as the whole.
Oh.
And I mean, I grew up on Absalom. I met plenty of fine goblins, and I think it's wrong to just generalize negatively an entire species, or even positively, just take them as individuals.
Yes. It's difficult to say, but you're right. That was very specious of me to have done. I don't believe in those values, and I hope in the future you'll let me know when I make further mistakes. Thank you, Gus.
If I do a bad too, you could tell me.
We'll be each other's accountability partners.
Yeah.
Like sugar.
Yes.
Accountability buddies.
Accountability buddies.
Lovely. All right. So, you load those culinary synthesizer build your own kits onto your ship, and head back to Absalom Station. It will take you 1d6 days. Sloan, why don't you roll me a d6? Because it always takes 1d6, no matter how far out from Absalom Station you are. It only takes you 1d6 days to get back. Ooh.
This time it takes us 6 days. Luckily, culinary synthesizers don't go bad.
Indeed.
Luckily, they don't. And this is good. I have good news for you. This does mean that you'll all arrive at Absalom Station, I'm pretty sure, fully healed. Especially if you convalesce.
Hooray.
Yes.
Gus, or Ketch would like to go around to Gus and Sloan and Marioth in particular, but also Auntie Nuna during the course of this, and he'll approach them and kind of, you know, not like directly say that he's bothered by something, but kind of, you know, like doing the passive aggressive, acting like something's bothering him.
Mm.
And when invariably, like after enough time, we'll be asked about what's wrong, and when asked, he essentially tries to I don't, shaking down is too harsh a term, but you know, get some money for that med kit that's really benefiting them, not him.
Oh, I thought that came out of our funds.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought it's already figured in that we all paid for the med kit.
We don't have a party loot.
Yeah, last week I pitched in some money. I know you pitched in some money. Like,
well, we all went together. So
We can just put it on the party loot sheet as a negative amount. That'll be fine.
I already figured it in to mine.
Yeah, I figured it in personally. If you do shake him down, like, he probably would have given you money when we were buying it, whoever was buying it. But when you try and shake him down, he gives you a little Catch bobblehead made out of scrap metal.
It's like, what am I supposed to? You know what? Never mind. Thanks, Gus.
You put it on your desk. It is a conversation starter.
Yeah, and everyone on the crew at this point has one. Catch was the newest addition, and over the 6 days we were traveling, Gus was making one for Catch.
Oh.
Yeah, I figure we all just pitched in the 20 credits at the time we bought it.
I can subtract 20.
Great, thanks. Now all I need is a desk. And he kind of like puts it in his bag.
The bottom's magnetic. You can just stick it to any surface on the ship, pretty much.
During this long trip through the drift, Marath will invite people to play cards frequently.
Oh yeah.
They know a lot of different card games.
Can we play Space Euchre?
Yes,
Do
we
they
can
play against Auntie Nuna? Because she's not going to let them win.
Oh, Marath doesn't really care about winning. So yeah, I guess I'm curious about which members of the crew are interested in playing card games.
Sloan will play card games. She's pretty good at them. Between her bluff and her sense motive.
Yeah.
Is Catch too cool to play with the rest of the crew?
Yeah, he every time he's approached about it, he's got some excuse. Oh, I know the flux capacitor needs buffing. Gotta go shine that out. Sorry, guys.
All right, then the four of the rest of us will play a bunch of different games, and Moreas will just be very bad at all of them. I'm not sure if you guys want to roll bluff checks to see who cheats the best.
Gus would also be
Nah.
awful.
That would just turn into a bluff measuring contest.
Well, it's level 1. D20 variance is pretty high at level 1.
Also, if we were playing Spuker, they would probably be on the same team, and they would just be cleaning house against Gus and Marayoth.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. All right, that's all.
All right. So you all arrive back at Absalom Station.
Very generously tears up all the IOUs.
It's okay,
As soon-
Captain. We aren't going to get much money anyways.
Oh, we'll get plenty. We got a whole new shipment.
I
We'll make
still
up
think
for the 20% we got on the last one.
Why did only one of your eyes close?
Rhea, it's a wink. It signals that we have an understanding
Oh,
that this is a lie, but we're pretending it's true.
we do not have eyelids. Is there an equivalent for us?
I don't. Can you make eyelids? Can you make maybe like a hole and 2 holes and close one of them?
No, you do not want to ask Marayoth to make holes.
None of our constituents need eyelids. We have faceted eyes that we can form into a approximate toroid shape. Would that be well understood by most humanoids as indicating deceit?
Marath, can you turn yourself into emojis?
Well, that would be very strenuous. Which emojis?
Can you turn into like the smile
up.
face emoji?
Yes, please hold. And Marayoth does not do this with anywhere near the ease with which Harald does. Because, like, they have to sort of, like, form into kind of a human pyramid, except a bug pyramid. And then there's, like, a lot of, like, an increased volume of buzzing within the mass. And then, like, the smiley face and the eyes protrude from the, like, upright disc. And then the mouth and eyes kind of, like, buzz and vibrate in place for a few moments, disturbingly, until eventually the whole heap like falls apart and then lifts back up into a like storm shape. Was that
All
it?
right.
Is that what you were asking for?
All right, now do that, but with only one eye.
This will take much practice. Thank you.
Okay,
we will
okay.
we will work on this.
Don't worry
skill.
about it. Don't worry about it.
No, we will acquire the
Just know
skill and
that
indicate
when I
deceit.
wink at you, it means that we both understand the thing I'm saying is a lie, and you're supposed to play along.
Yes, we have noted
That's the
this.
important
Thank you,
part.
Captain.
Okay.
It has been very enlightening to work under you these past few days, months. Wrath recedes back into the vents to practice winking.
Oh god.
Oh god. Vents are alive with the sound of winking.
I don't like it. As over like the 6 days as Ketch is working in the engine room, he'll just hear buzzing through the vents every once in a while and just kind of like.
So
God,
the evenings would probably
The
be
vents buzz all the time.
yeah. So the evenings would probably be the card games, but during the day, Gus would so be trying to become Ketch's friend in the engine room. Trying to bond over doing something like mechanical or something. Probably failing miserably.
Yeah, Ketch like initially sets him off doing like some entirely too complicated task for Gus, and after he fails spectacularly, Ketch relegates him to the okay, Gus, you hold the light.
Oh, he's so serious about it, and he's very intense.
Like squares both of his hoofs, holds the light with both hands, just focuses on making it as steady as possible.
Yeah.
Holds his breath.
And I imagine as Gus tries to talk to Catch, Catch just slowly turns the music that he has playing up louder and louder.
Oh.
It's like, oh, hey, so Catch, what are you doing? Catch, what are you? Catch. Oh, I'll talk to him later. He'll really love what I was gonna say.
He's probably really enjoying this song, so I'll jam along with it to him. I'll jam along with him to it.
Oh yeah, no. What did I decide the name was going to be? I can't remember. Get back to me when I remember what Catch's favorite band's name is. Dang it.
Okay.
Dang it.
If at any point you actually mention the name of bands, Gus will plug his younger brother's Strawberry Machine Cake cover band, Blueberry Flesh Danish. His younger brother Travis, also known as Old Man Horn.
Blueberry Flesh Danish. The flesh is really the sticking point for me.
Yeah, I am.
Would it be better if it was meat Danish?
Yes. Yeah, because
I like the awful name.
I like the awfulness of it too.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's delightfully terrible.
That's what it was. Catch obviously listens to the rockabilly group, the Wild Squawks.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to them.
Just nudges it a little bit louder.
So what are your allergies? What are your allergies?
I'll talk about our allergies.
Sloan continues to try to teach Marath how to deceive.
Marath is an eager but incompetent student.
Once the volume of music coming from the engine room hits a certain volume, Auntie Nuna will come in and ask Gus if he will help her with something. And she'll just give Catch a break.
Yeah, of course Gus would help. Help.
Oh,
Catch mouth, thank you to Auntie Nuna.
Auntie will probably need fake records of how much they actually paid us back on Akiton.
Already done, dear.
You're the best, Auntie.
I
Sorry,
will
Dom. We're
No.
such derailers.
No. This isn't derailing. This is you all talking about what your characters are doing, and that's good. That's introducing people to what your characters are like. So, no apology required. I will remind Sloan and Nuna, however, that the seller, Runo Pratt, is probably. Well, I mean, you wire the credits back to him. I don't know. Because wouldn't the company know that Runo Pratt got the requisite amount of credit?
I mean, you can if we wire it directly and include a note that or I don't know, we can send him the 40% directly,
50%,
and then give the 20% to the company to give half to him,
Right.
including a note.
Yeah, no,
to
we
him.
wire it from an incognito account. We route it
Auntie
through.
Nuna has tons of those.
Auntie Nuna figures out a way to route 40% to him, and then we give the company the 20 to do its thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to
And
roll
then-
for it.
And then presumably the company would divide that 20% in half and split.
You would presume that. Yes. You might presume that. You might not presume that. I don't know. Yeah, Nuna,
That's
go
what
ahead.
their contract says, and I imagine EdgeCorp at least keeps their contracts. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Of
Probably
course,
to the
there may be many provisos and caveats and whatnot that say
Quid pro quos.
in a situation where the quota is not met, the corporation gets gets reimbursed first.
I mean, if we know that, obviously there's a different allocation that we can do, right?
Yes.
We can just
That's-
send him the 50% and then, yeah.
Yeah. I hate to say, oh, actually, you know, this, oh, you know that. But yes, that is what the company tends to do in their contracts is they make sure that they're taken care of first, and expect that to be the law of the land. So you all might want to wire Runo Pratt the 50%.
And then tell the company we got 10%.
Yes.
All right.
Fair enough.
If you want to do that still with the whole deception on the company.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We don't wire it directly. We send it through a series of.
Sure.
Clamshell, not clamshells, but shell companies.
Yeah.
Over the dark web.
That is
Send it in Bitcoin.
Isn't skill expertise, isn't that a D6?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so not +1. Go ahead and roll me a D6. Because that's a 13 on the check.
So
That is
that's a 19.
19 on the check with a big 6 on that skill expertise die. Very cool. So a 19 to forge some communication between the buyer and you, and saying, oh yes, we can only get 10% because of this, and we were lucky to get that, et cetera, et cetera. So that was all passed on before you left in the drift. You get back to Absalom Station after 6 days, and once you reconnect to the infosphere, you receive a written communication. Not written like handwritten, but you receive a personal communication from Runo Pratt with effusive thanks for your hard work that you did in securing this sale. He briefly mentions something about his daughter taking over so that he can retire comfortably with the knowledge that his business is in good hands, and that's all thanks to your help. So do with that what you will.
What a nice man.
Timestamped a few days after your communication from Runo, which was the day after, we'll say. The day after you left, I should say. You also received a terse message from the company, which reads, to the crew of BD 514, your performance on the Pratt's produce job was insufficient. Evgenia Jameson Corporation has a bottom line to meet when it comes to sales, and when crews underperform, it affects us all. Your failure to produce the company's share of credits on this job has resulted in the forfeiture of your bonuses for said job, as well as a formal mark on your employee record. Further marks on your record will result in your termination from Evgenia Jameson Corporation. Is that the face that Sloan makes while reading it?
Uh-huh.
Tongue stuck out.
We have good news. The marks are mostly an illusion. You can actually get multiple and not be terminated as long as they are spaced out enough and you flatter your manager enough.
Yes.
Not even a mention of the extra culinary synthesizers we brought back to make up for it. So rude.
Yeah. Oh well, you haven't sold those yet. That's part of getting back to Absalom Station. But yes,
and flattering our manager.
And flattering your manager, yes. Marayoth has experienced in their 31 years at Evgenia Jameson Corporation or Jameson Corporation before that. Yes, they have received many marks over their career, but
so many marks.
With sufficient flattery and changing hands of contracts and whatnot, they have been able. Man, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm bad too.
They've been able to get these marks removed occasionally for exceptional for Marayoth work, which is to say, perfectly normal work. So, yes. So you get back to Absalom Station. You remember that you're supposed to contact Tarika once you arrive. Do you do this thing?
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right. Excellent.
Phone rings are up.
All right. So, you're not in the drift, so you're actually able to, and you're on the same infosphere. You can have a live chat with her. So, she picks up and she says, hey Sloan, how's it going?
Oh, it's going. Our buyer on Akiton got taken over by a totally legitimate video chat, so you can see the air quotes.
Yeah.
Corporation, and they stiffed us. Stiffed us real good.
Corporations are expanding so fast, you know? By the time y'all went from Castrovel to Akiton, your local buyer just already been bought out by an interstellar conglomerate. There's no room for any...
Happens.
Yeah, there's
Luckily,
less and less
we
room for
managed-
family businesses, you know?
It's true. Luckily, we managed to fill our hold with some culinary synthesizers to unload here.
Oh, all right. That could go a long way towards getting you back in the company's good graces.
Hope so.
Yeah. But hey, I got another job for you as well. One that's a little bit bigger than culinary synthesizers. It's gonna take you a bit further anyway. So I came in not long ago, in fact, and it's not perfect, but it'll do the trick. A drow calling himself Lord Sinjin is shipping guns from Apostate to a planet in near space. I guess the Gitteron Authority is trying to settle a world called Voxa, and the local miners are turning into more of a problem than anyone figured they'd be. So, job is simple. Go to Apostate and meet with Sinjin's agent, Taus Jarzid, at a place called Lamashtu's Lair, where you'll pick up the cargo. Take it to a Gitteron military outpost on Voxa and collect payment. Oh, and no questions asked. You know the type. She rolls her eyes as she says that.
Yeah? Yeah, I know the type.
Weapons are sometimes dangerous to transport. Maybe we get hazard pay in exchange. Sorry, I'm not sure if you're mouthing to me or.
No, I'm mouthing to Tarika. Boreas snuck up behind me.
Tarika, as Marayoth is, edging this in, Tarika just starts laughing. She's like, "Oh, Marayoth, you know, there's no hazard pay on jobs like this. That's for the miners and whatnot."
Oh no, you misunderstood. We are trying to get back into the graces of Edgecore. Perhaps did they negotiate with the buyer because this is a more hazardous job?
If you're asking whether they settled the price before y'all are heading out there, yeah, they negotiated with them. So all you need to do is head out there and drop the weapons off and come on back.
But he doesn't expect any competition to take the weapons from us, or to want to take the weapons from us.
Oh, I mean, it might be the miners are providing a bit of a problem, but it shouldn't be too dangerous. No more dangerous than going to the hive market on Akiton, I bet.
This is good.
Yeah. So, you have any questions about the job?
Auntie Nuna seems very engrossed in her knitting.
Seems pretty straightforward. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Anything for us to take to Akiton? Sucks to fly with an empty hold.
You mean Apostate?
Apostate, yes.
No, I don't have anything for you. But trust me, this job, should it go off without a hitch, which I'm sure it will, this job should get you all plenty of credits to get you back in the company's good graces.
You say so, Tarika. Anything else we should know?
Mostly hobgoblins. In fact, entirely hobgoblins. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're an empire out in near space. Voxa is a planet out in near space. It's rich in Sikatite and other resources. Mostly human, dwarf, and Shiran population. Yeah. Those are the basics. So, she sends you over the details. And, yeah, you're gonna have to stop by Apostate first to meet with Taus Jarzid, who's gonna hand off the weapons to you all, give you maybe some more details on the job itself, who you're gonna talk to, and Bish bash bosh.
All right. Well, I guess we should get on our way. Stop and sell these synthesizers first, but
Of course. All right. You all be careful out there. And she will hang up. So finding a buyer is going to take you a day, as per the downtime activity, finding a buyer. So this is going to, let's see. You're going to spend one day researching markets on the infosphere, checking with union or guild representatives, etc., etc. You're going to make the same diplomacy or profession merchant smuggler check at the same DC, I think, which is 15. No, it's higher DC, 15 plus 1.5 times your level, as opposed to 10 plus 1.5 times your level. Same rules apply. Everybody can say I/we are helping for that.
We're
plus
helping.
I don't think Gus is going to help this time, just because he's distracted, because he's conflicted about this job.
what,
I
the
imagine
culinary
it would be-
synthesizers?
No, he's distracted about our next job that we have lined up. Because we're running guns to someone to put down a miners' revolt, I think, is how I interpreted it.
Maybe a little.
That's a harsh statement. How the Gitterun Authority would say it is.
That's how Gus is
sovereign land.
interpreting it, and he feels kind of upset that he has to do this job.
No, I'm joking aside. That is perfectly valid. I totally understand. So that
So yeah,
sounds
his
like
feet will probably be on the ground, but he's not doing it in a good enough manner to actually give a bonus, I don't think.
that's acceptable. So that sounds like a +3 bonus then to this check.
Right.
So go ahead and make that check, Nick.
19 plus 3 is 21.
22, in fact.
Right.
Yes. So 22 versus the DC of 15 plus 1.5 times your level, which is 16. That does beat the DC by 5, which is cool. So you find a buyer. We'll say this time it is a Vlaka, we'll say. So you find a Vlaka in on the infosphere, and they meet up with you all at your ship, take a look at the goods, and as they're looking, they open up one of the culinary synthesizer kits to take a look at it and see, examine it, and they say, "Hey, this one doesn't look. This looks like a fake. Looks like some
they're all
sort of
counterfeit.
knockoff." And shakes it a little bit, shows you there's no serial number on it or some such thing. You have picked up some counterfeit goods from that Akitonian buyer. And so what this means for you is this buyer is willing to take these off your hand, but it is going to be at a steep discount on their end. So they are not going to pay you the full amount unless you can pass me a bluff check, the DC of which will be a number, 15 plus
favorite
1.5.
check.
Yes, 15 plus 1.5 times the party's APL, which is still 1. So if you can beat that bluff check to, sell this off.
Oh, I assure you, these came from a buyer of just perfect standing. There's no way that these are counterfeit. 28.
Oh, wow.
A 28 with a... Oh. You did press the button twice.
Oh.
What? No.
Oh.
I
Oh.
didn't press the button
But
twice.
Auntie Nuna also pressed it.
Use one of
And
use
you
one
know-
of your rerolls and just say that that's your reroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we use a reroll. Can we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna use
I'll accept this.
pup date reroll.
You are allowed
Alright.
to take my buff 8 reroll.
Maybe the lie is that this is the first run of these kits, and the first run didn't have serial number.
Yeah, before they started adding that.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
Right.
First edition, very limited.
Yeah,
First
these
edition,
are like
very narrow.
the alpha test of these synthesizers. They're incredibly rare. In fact, I'm doing you a favor by selling them to you at the regular price.
Said that one of the first batches actually Herald.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a picture of Herald.
No, it actually is Herald.
Herald is actually a culinary synthesizer. Jeez Louise.
Cunning disguise. It's the
Could be in
line,
one of those boxes.
He
Oh,
really
wow.
wants to get out.
That
I
that
see.
is where Herald is these days.
They give you a shrewd look and then look down at the counterfeit in their hands and say, "All right then, full price." And full price will be determined by rolling a d8.
That's what
That
Tom
is-
was rolling d8s about.
Oh yeah, I'm rolling a whole bunch of things. They give me some tables here, which is pretty nice. So you don't have to just come up with everything on your own. So that D8 is going to be 6 on the roll, -2 because you're bringing this to another world in the system or Absalom Station. So you will get 4 build points per lot. However, you did exceed the DC for this check by 5, so you can find buyer. On a success, you find someone willing to blah, blah, blah. For every 5 by which your check exceeds the DC, increase the sell price of the cargo by 1 build point per lot. So you are able to sell these cargo for 5 build points total per lot for a total of 10 build points, which is a pretty nice number. So that will what you do with that is kind of up to you all. It can't be converted into credits. You could send it to the company as Marayoth said, sort of as an offering to the company, to your managers or whatnot. But yeah, so.
I mean,
Well, it's up to you, Sloan, but it might be best. It really all depends on how attached you are to this ship versus the company, given our original goal.
Yeah, putting it back into the ship's not a bad plan.
The ship cannot fire you.
Ship can't fire me. We put it back into the ship.
You can also keep these in an account, sort of sock them away for a rainy day. That is another option. You don't have to spend these build points right away on anything in particular.
Oh, that is not what I was implying, Captain. Sometimes if you bribe the company, that seems to make them less likely to fire you. Bribing the ship doesn't help you not get fired.
Well, maybe I'm just not that concerned about getting fired, Mary.
Oh, why aren't you concerned about being fired?
Don't worry about it. Trust me.
I trust you, but we are still worried.
Don't be.
We are very confused. Why did you join the company if you do not want to work for the company?
Don't worry about it, Murray. Oh, hey, is that a new deck of cards? Over there
Oh,
on the table?
Marayoth,
you should not have.
I just got in an order of Uno cards. Would you like to play?
Yes, we would like to play.
So Marayoth successfully deflected by a new deck of Uno cards. This is the Uno Flip cards. It's very exciting.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yes, Spoono, Jet. So yeah, you all can make preparations to go off, and you're heading off to Apaste next to meet with Taus Jarzid, contact for some guy named Lord Sinjin, and yeah, do you have anything that you would like to do? We could say, similar to Akiton, if y'all want to, even in the break, spend some credits, because I understand we're coming up on our break, our normal break time. If there's any credits you want to spend whilst on Absalom Station, you can feel free to, especially during that day of finding a buyer or whatnot. But, yeah.
We may want to buy some health potions. Just saying.
Not a bad idea.
Perhaps.
All right. So,
Everyone take a day of shore leave. Stretch your legs. Get off the ship for a little while. Get some fresher air. And we can set out in the morning.
okay. So you all get your day of shore leave. We can talk about that after the break. But you will, the following day, you set off for Aposte and head back into the Drift. Because Aposte's in the Pact Worlds, but it would take you 1d6 plus 1 days to get there, I think, and 1d6 days to get there through the Drift. So, we will leave off as you all are taken into the Drift, and we will take our break. So, what do you say, 15-minute break, taking us back at 10 after the hour?
Sounds good.
All right. So, we're going to take our break. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back, everybody. So I hope everybody had a good break. Just occurred to me, I didn't actually grab a snack. But I'll probably survive an hour, 45 minutes until the end. Yeah, big mistake. Because this is like this goes right through snack time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. I have my water. And, nobody died from not eating a snack in an hour and 45 minutes. So, everybody else have a good break?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
We mostly spent it discussing things, so I don't need to ask you what we really did. But, yeah.
Found out that I'm out of Soylent. I had to eat breakfast for lunch.
Oh, goodness.
You're out of Soylent? What about those boxes under the guest bed?
Yeah. I'm out in the fridge. Drinking room temperature Soylent is a nightmare. I would not recommend it.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Feel that way about most Soylent, so...
No, look, strawberry's great. Just needs to be cold. Needs to be cold.
It must be cold, yeah.
Must be.
I'm trying something a little bit different with the music now after the break. And just as a point of propriety here, credit for this music in the links in Twitch chat, just for future reference.
Yeah.
Good call.
I might ask you, since we put this on YouTube and podcast as well, to just read those off at the end. So those are...
Yeah, sure. We're thanking Carl Casey at White Bat Audio for these upcoming tracks that we'll be listening to in the second half of our stream.
That'll be gracing your delicate ears. And now let your delicate
ears... some more streamlined audio. What was that, Simon?
My ears aren't delicate at all. Hardcore. They're like really solid.
That sounds like something somebody with delicate ears would say.
Yeah.
No. What I heard was we're listening to the Dead Kennedys for the rest of the stream. Kill the poor. No, sorry.
So, when last we left off, our intrepid traders were heading to Aposte. They were slipping into the drift, heading towards that darkest of planets. Probably not the darkest, actually. Octurne would probably be darker than Aposte. But
Octurne's worse, yeah.
Yeah. Aposte, home of the Drow. Looks more like an abandoned moon than an inhabited planet. With no natural atmosphere. With no natural atmosphere, water, or greenery, and no light emanating from its few settlements, the planet's surface remains wreathed in a cloak of darkness. However, as soon as you emerge from the drift, 1d6 days later, you are hailed by a Night Arc traffic control AI that tersely demands to know your business on Aposte. What is your business here?
We're with Evgenia Jameson Corporation. We're here to meet a seller.
Upon giving this reason, you're given a landing bay assignment and told to wait there for a security inspection. Once you land, you are met by 4 drow, all dressed in docking bay security uniforms and well armed with nasty-looking rifles. One steps forward and says, "We must perform a brief check of your ship to ensure that everything is in order and that you are not trying to smuggle anything not on your shipping manifest onto the planet. This is a routine search, rest assured." They'll briefly take a look through your ship, content to have, a couple of you following them around. After a brief search, the drow, satisfied that there is nothing illicit on board, depart, leaving you to navigate through the drow city of Night Arc. Point of order, it ends with ARCH. Do we think that's Night Arc or Night Arch?
I think it's an arc.
It's Night Arc.
Night Arc.
Okay, excellent. So, what you know about Aposte. This is a planet in name only. It doesn't have any atmosphere. Doesn't have a magma core, tectonic plates, oceans, volcanoes, etc. The only time the surface changes is when it's struck by an asteroid, much more common here than on regular planets, which have an atmosphere in which meteors could, get burnt up before impact. The planet is riddled with clearly artificial chambers and tunnels, which are in turn filled with incredible technologies, the likes of which no packed races could create. No one knows the origin of all of this stuff, and much of the planet's interior is still inaccessible to this day. So, no oxygen in the atmosphere means that every settlement is surrounded by a giant dome that is then filled with breathable atmosphere, similar to EOX, if you're familiar with that. You are contacted immediately upon leaving the BD 514 by a company called Night Arc Air and Water. They politely inform you that you have been registered as customers of NAW and are accumulating a bill for all air, water, and other materials necessary for life support. The bill is displayed in the lower corner of your personal comm units or helmet display, slowly ticking up in fractions of a credit. This is not a big expense. Running the calculations for anyone in the party who is smart, you can tell it's going to cost you about 1 credit per day. You can avoid this by using your armor's environmental protections, which last 1 day per level of your armor and can be recharged on the BD 514. So, this is not meant to be a big obstacle or anything. This is just reminding you that Aposte is
terrible.
Pretty terrible. Yep.
Gus will ignore that unless someone points it out, and then he will activate the sensors or the environmental protections.
Okay.
All right, folks. If you use the air and water from the company, coming out of your paycheck.
I feel like Morath has to be cost conscious enough to use their environmental controls.
Oh my god, are you a friendly Dwight Schrute?
Yes, obviously.
Oh. There are many things that there are some things that Morath has in common with Dwight Schrute.
Okay. So, what about Catch? Is Catch going to use his environmental protections, or is he going to just pay the 1 credit per day?
Catch is cheap. Catch uses environmental protections.
Yeah.
Nuna only has 11 credits to his name right now.
Nuna will do what Sloan said to do.
Okay. Great. And Sloan, just I believe you said that you were turning on your environmental protections as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And Marayoth, what was your final decision there?
Oh yeah, turning on the environmental protections.
Okay.
Cost conscious.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I just wanted to confirm. Great. So all of you turn on your environmental protections on your armor, which will last you 1 day. I mean, hopefully you won't be here more than 1 day anyway. You're just picking up some goods. So, looking up Lamashtu's lair, you find it listed on the local infosphere. It's a cheap bar in one of the commercial domes nestled between the city's purple towers. It's 10 miles from the landing bay, and you can easily hire a robo-taxi to take you there for 1 credit. If you look up Taus Jarzid, there is no listing or info there for him being there, but that's not terribly irregular. It's a bar. So you were told to meet Taus Jarzid, the Drow contact intermediary for Lord Sinjin, at this Lamashtu's lair.
While we're in the taxi, Marayoth will do a life science check to learn about Drow facts.
Oh, you want some Drow facts?
Yeah, I
Marayoth?
want some Drow facts.
All right.
I got 8, so they might not be true Drow facts.
Oh God.
So, Marayoth knows for a fact that the Drow are they're just elves that have been underground for too long, and that resulted in the darker coloring of their skin. Because Drow are
No other reason.
Yep, no other reason whatsoever. And similarly, the milky white of their eyes. So that's all that Marayoth has heard about Drow, though.
Marayoth passes this along excitedly.
Do I know anything about this bar? Maybe is it seedy?
It's a cheap looking bar for sure from their listing online.
But wouldn't get anything special from a.
Nah, their Yelp reviews, Space Yelp, Spyelp reviews are pretty regular. It's like 2 to 3 stars. It was okay. I got in a fight there. Drinks are all right. Their wings are pretty great. But
What about the
Can't wait to get back
neighborhood?
to civilization where Yelp actually works.
the neighborhood is it's a commercial area. It's so every city and settlement on Apostate are under these environmental bubbles, basically, which are filled with air and other necessities. So this is in a commercial dome. So every building there is going to be not residential, but rather commercial. Stores, bars, restaurants, hotels.
Okay.
So
One thing I've struggled with is like Apostate and Eox are both described as these sort of like corporate dystopias. Are they like the same, except in one of them is ruled by liches and the other one's ruled by drow?
a little bit, yeah. But we know what caused Eox to not have any atmosphere. We don't know what is going on with Apostate.
Right.
Yeah. So Apostate is a weirder because it's like
Yes,
a
their
machine.
rulership is similar.
Also, to me,
they're both-
Apostate feels more Blade Runner. Eox is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apostate is ruled by powerful houses that mostly are arms dealers. Eox, the thing they're selling is eternal life.
but also like powerful houses, right?
No, not houses per se, but rather
Individuals.
bone lords and whatnot.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So not conglomerates or corporations, but rather I guess CEOs. So it's similar, but it's not families. It's individuals.
Okay.
Yeah. Who never die.
Yeah. So that's a whole.
Power never passes along, so it is a different story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I personally, when I was
So-
looking up things to tell you about Apostate, that you could look up on the infosphere, like I didn't know that Apostate had all this cool technology under it, that it didn't have a magma core, like all of these things. That's pretty cool. Just another.
Yeah.
So, in
I
many
love it.
ways, Apostate is a lot more volatile. than
because the houses are like fighting, and sometimes they rise and fall. Whereas in Eox, it's just like the same oligarchy of like 1,000 bone sages who are each have unlimited power within their sphere.
Yeah, Eox is lawful evil corporation, whereas Apostate is a little bit more chaotic evil corporation.
A little more, yeah, with some lawful evil sprinkled in. And
neutral evil.
yeah.
Neutrally.
Yeah, call it neutral evil. They don't really follow laws per se. It's more...
They follow laws when laws are convenient.
Selfish, like your self-interest, like...
Yeah. So, you all have this wonderful conversation on the difference between Eox and Apostate in your robo-taxi on your way to Lamashtu's lair.
Gus probably looks very unhappy the moment we stopped on this planet. Like, he was less happy than normal on the trip out here, but on the planet, he's super down, his ears are drooped, he's slouched even more than normal.
Oh.
Would you like some cookies, dear? I think I've got some in my bag.
Always Auntie Nuna. I will never say no to cookies.
Gus, have you been to Apostate before? Yes.
I just don't like this job.
I am
Bug
not.
up there, Gus. It's a paycheck. Come on, bud. And he slaps him on his old wound again.
It is a paycheck, but I've been on the receiving end of corporate disinterest or dislike in regards to being a minor before.
What do you mean?
No worries, you're old enough now. You can go drink. Come on, bud. Let's go get a beer.
Not that kind of minor.
Gus is already going off to the galley to get a space light.
And a taxi.
Yeah, you're in a taxi right now on your way to the bar.
We could always choose instead to give the weapons to the miners, but EdgeCore would probably put additional marks on our records, and it is. I've seen it to be a bad idea to get too many of those in 1 week.
I understand that. I'm just not happy to be doing this job.
We are not happy to be doing any job.
Gus, we can't ask any questions of the seller, but we can certainly ask questions when we arrive on the other end.
Gus will probably sort of flick one of his ears in acknowledgement and just go back to looking out over this dystopian nightmare.
Munching on the cookies absentmindedly.
Yes. Munching on the cookies and periodically pulling up a little straw in his armor and slurping on some R2E nutrient paste.
He's a comfort eater.
All right. So
I have the armor upgrade.
Yeah, you got that armor upgrade from EdgeCorp. They're very happy to give you armor upgrades that allow you to sustain yourself without having to take a break. It's like the camel pack water backpack thing, except it also delivers food as well as drink. So, you arrive at Lamashtu's lair. Muted conversation and the stench of spilled alcohol permeate this place, and the light is rather low. Drow. Travelers of all species, though mostly the local majority, drow, orcs, and half-orcs, sit at tables of thoroughly stained aluminum, nursing their drinks and keeping to themselves. Across the room, a pitted bar counter and black aluminum stools beckon those eager to drink their sorrows away. Behind the bar is a brusque-looking half-orc who eyes you curiously as you enter. And I have a map for this.
Ooh, shiny.
Yes. I won't bring you there yet, though, come to think of it. Sorry. Gave that away too soon. So, what do you do?
Sloan will scan the room for this contact that we're supposed to meet.
A lot of drow here. Can't tell which one might be Tau Starzid.
In that case, stride over to the bar. Round of drinks for my friends, if you would.
Of course. A piece of information that I was meant to give you was that the VIP lounge was where you were directed to meet House Jarzid.
In that
that's-
case,
We just strayed there.
yeah, instead of a round of drinks, we'll ask the barkeep, excuse me, supposed to meet Tariq
House
in,
Jarzid.
of House Jarzid in the VIP room. Could you point me in that direction, please?
He, puts a space glass down on the counter and, oh yes, I can, it's right over, and she begins to point, and then the door to Lamashtu's lair bursts open, and a drow enters, dragging a protesting gnome along behind him. The drow wears the distinctive armor of House Zizerur and bears a long sword of pure black energy. Motes of crackling power flow off it and pop in the dark air. The gnome, in contrast, has their wrists pinned together with binders. I'm telling you, this is all a big mistake, a huge mistake! Without sparing a glance to his prey, the drow heaves the gnome up and deposits them on top of the bar. Here's your bounty, Caden, as promised, he says. The half-orc behind the counter gives the gnome a glance and takes out her personal comm unit, staring at something on it intently and then back at the gnome. While this is happening, the gnome turns to you all while laying on the bar top, the surface of which is now sopping wet from a few drinks that were knocked over upon their deposit. They plead, I'm not... Whoever he's looking for, I just lost my comm unit. Please, you look like reasonable, not to mention well-armed individuals. Give a gnome a hand. They gesture invitingly with their bound wrists. The drow spares them a glance, looks at you, and then back at the bartender. He is clearly not concerned that you are going to help with this.
He should
Can somebody
be.
with sense motive sense his motive?
Sense motive.
Yeah, sense motive.
Absolutely.
I was built for sense motive.
Yeah, that's a 27 on Auntie Nuna.
He
So
knew
part
that
of my-
I could kiss
that's what I'm
you.
taking.
A 27 on Sloan. All right,
Even
so
better.
we've got two sense motives. So Sloan, Auntie Nuna. Yeah, this gnome doesn't quite seem to be on the up and up. Do you think that they're trying to make themselves seem a little more innocent than they actually are? They might have done something wrong. You're pretty sure that they did something wrong to deserve being hauled in here.
Auntie Nuna makes significant eye contact with Sloane as a way of signaling.
Do we really want to stick our neck out for this? It's up to you, dear.
Sloan gives a look of, I mean, it's trouble. I can't help myself.
Oh, very well.
While this is happening, as that conversation happens, the bartender again looks up from the comm and shows the image displayed there. A gnome similar in appearance to this gnome. Horizon, this isn't the mark, she says. Everybody can make me a perception check as well.
Wow. Patch,
All right.
uncannily aware today. 19
Yeah.
on the die for 23.
Sloan, Nuna, and Ketch all get a quick glance at the comm unit. You can tell that there are differences between this gnome and that gnome on the comm unit. Horizon, the drow, snarls and says, "Look, Caden, I swear to you, this is the right gnome. You know they're tricky. Maybe they changed their appearance or something." The two begin to argue over the validity of this bounty.
Wow, bud. Not all gnomes look alike.
That's what you
Auntie
got.
Nuna
Gus will. Sorry, go ahead.
gestures for Sloane.
After you, dear.
I was gonna
She
say
knows.
Gus
She
will
knows Sloane wants all over this. I assume.
Sloan does. Sloan just can't help herself. She's got to get into trouble. Sort of. Turns out I don't think that's how gnomes work, friend.
What do you know about gnomes? Are you a bounty hunter too?
Morath does a life science check on gnomes.
As a matter
he's
of
doing it.
fact,
I got
I've known
a 10. Gnomes come from the first world.
That's about it. That's all you know.
When they made
That's all
that
you
general
know.
comment about gnomes, Gus looks meaningfully at Auntie Nuna.
Yeah.
She just sort of gestures like, I know, dear, I know.
I've been known to pick up a bounty from time to time, and I can't help but noticing those are two totally different gnomes. And I have to say, giving your what would you call someone who pays you for a bounty? Giving your employer a hard time like that's not a great way to keep getting jobs, friend.
As you make this speech to Horizon, the gnome is going to suddenly roll off the bar counter to land right next to Sloane, and cries out, "Thank you, strangers, for that timely rescue!" And their hands are no longer bound, and they pull their hands free of their restraints, and then Horizon looks between you and the gnome, who is already scurrying away. "You're going to pay for this," and brandishes their sword. I actually have art for Horizon.
Looks innocently like I didn't do nothing.
Well, Horizon doesn't believe you about that.
Horizon doesn't have a great perception. Doesn't have a great sense motive.
Yeah. So let's go to our table here. And we are going to have to roll initiative here.
All I'm seeing is blackness.
That's because you don't have tokens on the map. That is my bad. Let me throw you on there.
You're kind of benevolent, GM.
I am. Gus and Nuna and Rhea and Sloane. I kind of figure Sloane is pretty close to Horizon. I don't know where everybody else would be.
Yeah, we were
in
at the bar, so probably
Okay.
like here.
Oh,
I figured
Yeah.
Ketch was pretty much up at the bar as well, with Sloane trying to
Okay.
get a drink.
great. And let me show you Horizon here.
Looks like trouble to me.
Looks like a mean drow.
Looks like a mean drow.
Oh, I've got all my RP back.
Yes, everybody has
Been a
all of
few
their stats
days.
back. It's been 6
1
plus
week.
days since, roughly 1 week since you looked at me and rolled initiative. So yeah, you got all your stuff back. So yes, Horizon is going to roll initiative as well. They are Solarian, not known for their incredible initiative. However,
Solarian buddies.
totally, buddies. And then rolling a
Prong.
17 on the initiative check, though.
Rude.
And look, the Solarian buddies get to go first. Mariath, after you, as Horizon, brandishes his solar saber at your captain. What do you do?
Please do not threaten our captain. And I fires a bolt of energy towards him.
Okay.
Bravely from a mere 10 feet away from a high-level Solarian.
I'm flattered that I appear to be a significant threat with no gun drawn, and my innocent face.
He thinks that you freed his gnome.
I didn't free his gnome.
He didn't see
But
you
yeah,
not free his gnome.
He does have to think I'm a
didn't see you
significant
not
threat.
free
But he
his
can't
gnome.
draw that solar weapon. Saying.
That's not how that works. No, you can't attune if you're not fighting a significant enemy. Otherwise, the Solarians wouldn't be able to use their key class. Yeah, no, it's a common misconception.
Morath misses wildly.
Yeah, he does.
However,
he could only make-
they do grab
Hey.
some of you as always.
of course. Now they can only make one attack because unless Morath always has their solar weapon drawn,
You're right.
or
You're
their
right.
Solarian.
So I just get a nat
Yeah.
1.
Yes, you do still get a nat 1, which is going to be a miss. So that space glass that Caden was cleaning and put down on the glass, the counter, shatters as Morath fires a bolt past Horizon. who is going to turn, glance briefly at Marayoth, and then step towards Sloane. Yeah. The gnome, whose name they did not give, is going to roll. Had rolled over towards Sloane. So before Marayoth got that shot off, because this is the whole thing for the fight, is the gnome freed themselves, rolled off the counter. At the start of the round, they ducked past Sloane, past Catch, over here, and cast Disguise Self. Because in the fracas, a bunch of people jumped up from their tables and started saying, "Whoa, hey!" And the gnome is no longer a gnome, but rather a drow woman, and they are going to start making their way out of this facility. So Horizon losing their prey. What?
A good disguise on this planet.
Yeah. Horizon losing his prey is going to step forward towards Sloane. He also begins to glow with that dark purple graviton energy. And he is going to take a slash at Sloane for freeing his target. That is a 16 versus KAC.
16 versus KAC is gonna hit.
Okay, that is going to be 13 points of damage, 11 slashing, and 2 electric.
Boy.
Electric, you say?
I do say.
Well, electric doesn't hit me. How much slashing was it?
It was 11 slashing damage.
Still, ow.
Yeah, that's still an
All
ouch.
my stamina and half my hit points.
Yeah, Solarians are
Fights in this
scary.
book are unfair.
Well, I know what
luckily-
Auntie Nuna's gonna do for her turn.
Luckily, it is your turn, Sloane. What is your response to this Solarian stepping up to you and just slashing at you with an evil-looking sword?
Oh, well, I guess Sloane is going to attempt to roll away. These tables.
Mm-hmm.
How are we treating these tables?
Those are going to be pretty hard obstacles. I would say you can't tumble through that because I would call them difficult terrain to get around them.
Alright, then I'm just gonna have to make 2 of these. One for the
You
square
can
I'm
tumble
in.
through death, right? Can you tumble through allies?
Oh, I could tumble through catch. So 17 to
Okay. Versus 15 plus 1.5 times CR?
back, yes.
Okay. That is not going to do it against this very scary Solarian. So Horizon is going to slash out with his solar sword once more, seeing you get away. But that is, in fact, a 10 versus your KAC.
Well, 10 won't hit,
Well,
but I'm
that's
gonna get
lucky,
around this side of the table.
because this is a bad customer.
So rude.
Very rude.
Yes, tumble around here and pull my my mercy pistol, and that's it for me.
Okay.
Heck level 1. Heck level 1.
Heck in level 1. It's the pits. Gus,
Worst.
you are up.
All right, I'm
Good
gonna
luck, Gus.
step forward through here like so, and I'm going to be moving at as good a clip as I can, probably shoving chairs out of the way if they are not bolted down, and then I'm going to attempt to gore this individual. Let's do the gore.
Doing a heckin' gore.
18 for 6 piercing damage.
what would you do if I told you that didn't hit?
I would be sad because that's a 14 on the die.
That's good news because that did in fact hit. You have nothing to worry about.
What happened to kind and benevolent?
No, that totally hits. He takes
Roll in the stream.
6 points of piercing damage. What was that, Leif?
What?
You shouted something.
I shouted troll in the dungeon.
Oh, trolling. Yes. Yeah. So, hey, anyway, that was Gus's turn. Horizon seems fairly surprised that you just ran up and stabbed him with your horns. And we are going to move on to Catch. Catch, what do?
Catch, as a free action, slams the rest of his drink, like completely drains it, because that's how good he is.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Right?
He's so cool.
Why is my waypoint not working?
Your move action?
No, it's a
Nope.
free action.
Nope, it's a free action.
I think it takes.
Free action to finish my drink, because that's just how good I am at finishing my drink.
That's awfully good.
They have,
Right.
he actually has, Catch has 5 ranks in finishing drinks, even though
Yeah.
it's level 1.
Only level 1. That's just how good I am. Yeah. Catch is gonna skirt around here. I assume that I can get through there, treating her as my one square of difficult terrain.
That's fine. Remember, you can't draw a weapon and move at level 1.
I do remember that. So I move and I get there and I draw my weapon. I was just getting to that.
I apologize.
Nope, you're all right. I
all right.
remember my bad action economy. Thank you.
Soon. Next level, we get
Soon.
big tag bonuses.
All right. Auntie Nuna.
Lone dear, you're all right. I know you'll be able to get back in there.
Have an inspiring boost.
Right. If I remember correctly, that is 4 SP back. Because it's level, twice your level plus charisma modifier. So. Okay.
Charisma is 2, so yes, 4.
All right. Anything with your move action?
Oh, well, she'll move over here. Doesn't do to clump up.
Especially not against a Solarian. Okay.
Yep.
So that is Auntie Nuna's turn. Marayoth.
Yeah, so as Gus was pushing through, Marayoth, like lifted up in order to like get a better angle on her Horizon. What was his name? Horizon.
Horizon, yes. Very edgy.
Such an edgelord name, yeah.
Such an edgelord. He's a drow.
He is a
Of course
drow,
he's
yeah.
an edgelord.
His
So,
given name is Christopher. Don't make fun of him.
His mom called him Christian. Yeah. So I've read the fly rule, but
Christian high
I
school
might need a little bit of help here. Marayoth will fly up and to the north. His fly speed is 20 feet average maneuverability, which means he gets no bonuses or penalties. It's up, right? So that means it's half speed.
Correct.
Okay.
So to
So
fly
he can
5
go,
feet.
yeah, like 10 feet up at a diagonal. Or can they go directly up, or do they have to go at a diagonal?
No, you can fly directly 10 feet up.
Okay, that's probably
It
easy.
does cost you 20 feet of movement to go 10 feet up.
Yeah.
The diagonal is also 20 feet, right?
Right.
I think we're the next Starfinder uses the old Pathfinder 1 rules and flying diagonals. You have to. You can just roll and let us use the new Pathfinder 2 rules and use that, but yes.
So what?
Not worth it.
What's
Flying up to get. We can look at it between the rounds. I'll dig.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Flying up high enough such that Gus is no longer in the way, and firing down at the drow once. 14 versus EAC. Probably missed it.
That is going to meet.
Yay!
Yeah. As
3
this
cold and
drow
electric.
takes 3
Finger
cold
gun.
and electric. And once again, no, sorry, I'm gonna stop trolling you now. Yes, that 3 cold and electric damage does go through on this drow. I presume you are 2 points attuned, Graviton.
Sure, yeah, as if it matters.
Sure. And it is Horizon's turn. So Horizon is going to look balefully at Gus Barrett Sinclair. And as a move action, he is going to sort of focus himself on Gus. And he is activating a super scary Solarian power. It's almost like he's going to start doing more damage towards Gus. We'll see if it matters as he rolls an attack roll on Gus. It is possible.
Knife in the dark?
I'll never tell.
Blade in the... Oh, what is it?
Something in the dim light.
No, bad sword. Bad sword.
Ooh, that is going to be a 14 versus KAC, which, as we all know, hits Gus.
All attacks hit Gus.
Like I said, this guy has a chance to miss, but he didn't this time, so that is going to be...
Probably has to roll a 1 to miss.
15 points of damage. 13 slashing, and 2 electric.
15, you say?
I do say.
Ugh. Gus has a rent ripped across his tummy, and it's curiously not bleeding, but you see like instantly like a mesh of like silver just crisscrossing and start like trying to hold it together.
Oh no.
All right. A grievous wound as Horizon slashes Gus, and we are on to Sloan Rider.
All right. Time for trick attack. Yep.
Oh, she's getting tricky.
Is this your lesson 5?
I should say so.
One would hope.
This ain't a final book boss.
So 19 versus flat-footed EAC.
That's of course gonna hit.
For 7 fire damage.
7 fire damage, you say? Very good hit.
I do say.
You do say so rightly. 7 fire damage goes through, and Horizon takes another shot. This time to the shoulder. Not looking too good. And we are on to Gus.
Alright, as a swift action, I am spending a nanite surge.
Ooh.
And I am activating reactive repair. Those nanites that were crisscrossing that gaping wound in his stomach just start sort of pulsing with a reddish orange light. And Gus now has fast healing 1 and will gain 1 stamina every turn and 2 temporary hit points every turn. That was a swift action.
That's
Nice.
Now, as a move action, I'm going to...
Irish.
Yeah, I'm going to have some more of those nanites flow out of my prosthetic limb and generate my seismic pick, and then as my standard action, I am going to swing at Horizon.
Okay.
Hey! 14 for 5.
That's gonna hit. Very good. All right. So Horizon takes 5 points of sonic damage as your pick digs into his chest. And yeah, just keeps getting battered. Horizon's not looking good. Catch. What would you like to do?
Oh man, I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to survive to my turn. That's okay. That's okay. I got this.
What an
I
optimist.
got this. Catch uses his move action to now stabilize his overly bulky weapon, gripping the front bipod there, and fires a single shot at Mr. Badman.
Mr. Batman.
With an 18 to hit EAC for 5 fire damage.
With an 18 to hit. 5 fire damage slams into Horizon. Okay. At that point, Horizon is actually going to, as a free action, puts his hands up and says, "All right. I'm not willing to die for that gnome." And he is
Good
surrendering.
choice.
So, unless Auntie Nuna or Moraoth, or anybody, I should say, is everybody going to let him surrender?
Sure.
Moraoth has no problems.
Gus will look to his captain.
Sloan.
Sloan blows the smoke opera gun, flips it back in the holster. Good choice, friend.
And so they, pull out a healing serum, and will stab themselves with it, and then they're just going to start about setting. Oh, by the way, the gnome definitely at the start of this round before Moraoth went. I just kept forgetting to move this piece. The gnome drow ducked into the kitchen, and y'all don't know this, but escaped out the back door. So that gnome is long gone.
Well, good for her.
Yes.
Yeah, Sloan will sort of stride back up to the bar.
Are you all
You saw
done?
sense.
Are you all done? Caden, the bartender, is going to interrupt you. Y'all done messing up my bar now?
I apologize. Let me buy my new friend here a drink.
Horizon looks askance at you.
Interesting, because Ketch was just about to say, "It's all right, drinks on him."
Two very different approaches.
Yes.
Auntie Nuna has sidled up to the other side of Horizon and is gonna support with that diplomacy check.
That is a 23 on the diplomacy check. Yeah, I mean, Horizon seems relatively salty at you all, but is willing to accept a drink.
But how can you stay grumpy at a little old lady sitting at a bar knitting?
It doesn't do to hold grudges, dear. Trust me, I would know.
If this guy doesn't leave the bar crying and reevaluating his life, then Auntie Nuna's lost her touch.
He sits there and smolders. So
Too bad you had the wrong gnome there.
I swear that was the right gnome, though. I checked the picture. And Caden cuts in again. Look at the picture. This one's got blue eyes. That gnome's eyes were purple.
Gnomes are from the first world.
Not other else.
I know that. Yeah, Horizon will just, scoff and go back to his drink. He doesn't seem terribly interested in something.
What was the gnome wanted for?
They were a pickpocket.
Oh. Seems like a bit strong to get a bounty hunter to apprehend a pickpocket.
They pickpocketed the wrong people. You're clearly not from this planet, are you?
No.
Obviously.
Who are the wrong people?
Don't
Above
let
my
friend
pay
here.
grade to talk about with someone I just met at a bar. So you all are here, not to make chit chat with bounty hunters, but to talk with another drow. Would you like to find the location of this drow?
Yes. Anyway, turns back to the barkeep. You were saying the VIP room was which way?
Oh, yeah. It's over there, and over there is hold on. Nope, it's down to the south. room B6. So, oh no, it is B5. Up to the northeast, in fact. So you go to the door, and
Sloan strides confidently to that door and throws it open.
Okay.
After Catch looks at Gus's tummy, he'll walk the path that he took before, but he'll pick the stools back up.
Oh.
And his tummy stops glowing after about a minute. My stamina is fully recovered.
Nice. So, yeah, you knock on the door, and a handsomely dressed drow answers it, and he looks...
Oh, no, I said I opened it.
Oh, you opened the
We're
door.
expected. It's a VIP room.
Oh, okay.
Kind of place where you knock.
That's fine. You go into the VIP room, and you see this man.
What
This
a smug
tool.
dude.
What a smug dude indeed. So lounging on a black leather couch. Let me describe the room. The northeast wall of this room, as I open it as well, I apologize. You just walked through. Did I have you walk through or did you walk through?
Well, she said walk through.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
There's a toggle you can turn on.
I thought I had
or
toggled it, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. You were allowed to walk in here. So yeah, everybody can make their way in if you like.
I waited until you said that we could open the door.
No. I no foul play. I understand. The northeast wall of this room is a single large window made of one-way transparent aluminum. A black leather couch, a few metal chairs, and a coffee table fill most of the space. Lounging on the black leather couch is this man, who I've shown you a picture of, dressed in expensive-looking casual clothing that would be quite at home at a lavish party. He immediately stands at your entry, a smile spreading across his face. Welcome, crew of the BD 514. He extends a hand to Sloan. Captain Sloan, a pleasure to meet you. He turns, scanning the crew,
Likewise.
and says, and yes, Auntie Nuna, my Lord St. John sends his warmest regards.
Why? Sorry.
Sloan gives Nuna a sidelong look.
He doesn't elaborate. He'll go on. So please,
Nuna's
everybody.
able to stone face it. That was Liz going, why?
Oh yes. Yeah, no, totally fine. So he says, please come in and sit down. I see you've already gotten drinks. Excellent. So, let's talk business. This job is a simple one. You are to bring 50 tons of weapons to Voxa in near space to be delivered to the hands of the Gideon Authority. The cargo will be delivered to your ship upon your confirmation, at which point it is in your hands. Your contact on Voxa is one Commander Vash at Labor Camp 1120 on the planet's surface. The Gideon Authority are paying quite handsomely for this delivery. Perhaps there is an emergency on Voxa that prompts this sudden order. He taps a finger to his chin, and then... Not for me to worry about. The Gideon Authority is paying the bills here. If you're willing to take the job, just sign here, hands you a datapad, and I'll have the armaments delivered to your ship. He proffers a datapad with the shipping contract to sign.
Auntie Nuna takes a look at it.
And I trust everything's in order with the authorities here on Aposte.
Oh, what do you mean the authorities here on Aposte?
Oh, they searched the ship when you came in.
Oh,
somebody,
yeah. Yeah, y'all were fine.
They're legal, right?
They searched... Yes. Oh, yeah, no, because you all don't have the guns yet. So, like... And it's Aposte. They don't care about guns.
Okay. Just
yeah.
checking.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any,
Yeah, they're one of like the biggest arms dealers in the Pact world.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But they could be like shipping them out illegally. We're dealing with a male drow here after all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. We didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, male drow are typically not. The drow society is very matriarchal, where women are normally the ones in charge.
Right.
So
No, you
it
just
is
think we're
interesting.
not important enough, but
They just threw a pretty face at us.
Yep.
I mean, to
But
be
then there's
fair, this
also-
guy looks like a drow version of Catch, sort of.
Just because you can
Little
see
bit.
the collarbone. And there's a little blush to his cheeks.
Yeah.
Not
got
all,
his hair
not
slicked
all
back.
handsome humanoids are the same.
But yeah, so Auntie Nuna said that she was looking over the contract as well. Everything seems to be in order. There's no, it's just like Taos said, nothing hiding here. They want you to bring these weapons somewhere and get it done quickly.
I see.
Sounds simple enough. Should we expect any trouble?
Oh, I suppose no more trouble than one might find themselves in a planet out in the near space, out in the middle of nowhere, with the Gitteran Authority there. But because the Gitteran Authority is there, you shouldn't have much issue handing these weapons off.
All right.
Hence motive.
What a
That's a good idea.
suspicious crew!
I'm a very suspicious old lady.
No, I don't.
It's
I don't.
almost
live
like we're
against-
coming off of a secrets and conspiracy AP.
Ralph hasn't
strange.
rolled a single sense motive check, I'll have you know.
They know their talents lie elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sloan ended up with a 24. He's-
Yeah, 24 from
Yeah, dude.
Sloan and a 16 from Nuna. Once again, you're dealing with a lot of intermediaries. You might have noticed in this AP so far. So this guy seems to be on the up and up. He knows the information that he knows, and what he's telling you is true. Yeah. So you have been offered a data pad to sign for the contract. Do you sign the contract?
Auntie, does everything look okay in the contract?
I don't see anything amiss.
All right. Motion. Holds her hand out to take it back.
Gives it to her.
Signs it. Hands back to Taos. All right.
Thank you very much. I'll
That's the deal.
I'll have the weapons brought to your ship. You're in Docking Bay 7, yes? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have it to you loaded on by the end of the day. Pleasure doing business
Sounds
with you.
like a plan. You as well.
And he invites you to stay and enjoy another drink or two if you want, but otherwise, even if you do, we can just move on.
Time to get going.
Yeah.
Man,
So, let's see.
This is a pretty well outfitted shipyard, isn't it, Tom?
Probably. What are you getting at here,
Say-
Nick?
We have exactly 10 build points. And 10 build points is exactly enough to upgrade our drift engine to the tier 2 drift engine, which will save us time and let us pick up more cargo to get more build points.
It's true. It sure would. So yeah, if you want
By
to,
furthering the chain of capitalism.
so I will remind you with this gun shipment that you're bringing. That's going to take. It's 50 tons. That's what your ship can hold. So you're not going to be able to take anything else out with you to near space. Upgrading your drift engine
Yeah.
is a good idea. Sorry, it sounded like you were implying that you would also want to pick up more jobs.
Right, but I was thinking once we'll get to the other end faster, we can pick up more jobs there.
I see.
Because like we came here with an empty hold, and if we'd had a couple more days with some leeway, we could have picked something up, cut our drift travel time in half.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. What you've been told of Voxa, it doesn't sound like... It sounds like the only two people that are there are the natives who, it sounds like are currently being oppressed by the Gitteran Authority, and the Gitteran Authority. So it doesn't sound to your trained ear as a place that you're going to find a lot of jobs, per se. or any jobs.
could-
I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to find any jobs there.
All right, well, we can
Yes.
sit on it for now.
Yeah. You could, you could upgrade your drift engine if you want. It gets you there faster, but you're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna find any jobs there that the Gideon Authority hasn't already,
Contracted out.
clenched. Yeah, in their iron hobgoblin fists.
Fair enough. We'll hold on to it for now.
Okay. So, you head back to your ship, and not long after that, a cargo truck pulls up. 4 orcs tile out and begin moving crates of weapons into the cargo bays of the BD-514. Once your ship is loaded up, you all are free to depart Aposte peacefully and plot a course for Voxa to enter the drift. So,
Could've been worse.
Watches.
Gus
Think
probably
we got
tries
her.
to get them to stack things in a very particular way.
they just sort of look at you with, like, dead eyes. Not like they're undead, but like just... And, sullenly go about it.
They're orcs on Apostate. They're probably slaves.
Yeah,
it's not-
yeah, they're already having a bad day.
No.
Sloan is gonna pull Gus
Gus might
aside.
not know that.
Stop him from bothering the poor orc slaves. Hey, Gus, come here a minute.
Yeah,
That
Captain.
does have a culture of 8. I would know that. I think you know that.
You seem pretty worried about this job.
Yeah, I don't like what's probably going to be done with the guns.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder what they're up to as well. There's only the Authority and the natives on that planet. And if they're oppressing them, they're probably going to use these guns to wipe them out if they can.
Yeah, I never had violence directed against me when I was mining, but they definitely just cut all the safety features out. That's kind of how I lost my arm and got all this. And he just gestures to the scar tissue going up his neck.
That's fair enough. Like I said, I'm less worried about the miners and more about the natives.
Yeah, no,
Maybe we should get the crew together.
I agree. The natives should not just be massacred. That'd be bad.
Let's get the rest of the crew together. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Nick.
Are we gonna go totally south if we just run off with these guns?
Wow, then we're really gonna... So you want to make friends with... You want to make super duper enemies with a whole house of drow, huh?
Well, hold
does
on. I'm asking Tom a question specifically before we do this crew meeting thing, so I know
This is
sort of where
super...
the boundaries of our campaign are. is what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
where's the end of the map?
that would be super far off the end of the map.
Okay, that was all I
I-
wanted to know.
Yeah.
Let's call a crew meeting.
Okay.
I just wanted to check with Tom before we got into the role playing bit. We didn't.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Like, question for me to you, Tom. I don't know if this is going to come up or if this is Nick's plan, but alternately, instead of delivering the guns to the oppressive government, giving them to the indigenous population, is that within the realm of the AP?
It might be.
Yeah, that one seems
Just
more
ask
spoilery.
questions like that.
Let it evolve naturally.
Anything is possible, but there are some things that I've prepared for and that have been written into the AP.
Is that one that has been written?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, I'll say it again. You can't just ask those questions. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we're getting
Well,
too
Gotta read the
specific, guys.
subtext.
I just didn't want to get
Um,
too far off into left field.
And we're not even okay.
We haven't talked to the people yet, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't even
options
gotten
will
there.
be given to us. Yeah.
Because
So-
imagine
but-
what would happen if you, instead of going to Voxa, let's pose a hypothetical. You take a 50-ton shipment of weapons from a drow house, and then you just fly off with them instead of taking them to the point. And they have contact with the Gitteran Authority, so they'll know if the guns never make it there. So you would be hunted by the Drow, and then you would also lose your jobs, probably.
This does
right?
turn into a whole other AP.
Yeah.
Those are two
Fair,
very
that's
different AP.
That's a fair cop, which is why I stopped to ask the question.
So Tom, start writing.
Yes, custom AP.
Yeah,
No.
this wasn't enough work to begin with. You're right. I was just thinking that.
So we get together for a crew meeting. So, Gus and I are both pretty concerned about what the Gridiron Authority is going to use these weapons for.
We assumed the suppression of the miners, yes?
I don't know where y'all are getting that. I'm pretty sure they're going to wipe out the native population of the planet.
Maybe we misunderstood the state of the planet. Wasn't actually, I guess out of character, like, don't we know that there's like this this dispute between the miners and the authorities?
Yes, yeah. It's not the entirety of the indigenous population of the planet. It is the Gitteran Authority is having trouble with these miners.
Are they
Is what you've heard.
are they paid members? Like, are they actually paid, for one? I mean, because Drow, you know, they like to.
These aren't
Drow.
Drow, these are hobgoblins.
Okay,
Yeah.
but still.
Equally bad, in different ways.
Fascist.
The Gitteran Authority is known as an empire that goes to planets. This isn't anything that you asked of your of anybody in the thing, but if you look up, look up the Gitteran
check?
Authority on the
Yeah.
computer,
All right,
and you will find that the Gitteran Authority is this growing hobgoblin empire that has been going around to various planets and finding, some claims say that there are hobgoblin ruins there, and they use this as a to stake a claim on that entire planet, claiming that this was a hobgoblin planet, and therefore we are going to take it for the hobgoblins of the Gitteran Empire, the Gitteran Authority.
Charming.
But how well do they treat the miners there? Are they enslaved? Are they paid? Are they indentured?
You don't know.
Is there a way to find out?
Go there.
Well,
Go in there.
I guess Moraeoth will point out, we are concerned about the plight of workers in any situation, whether enslaved, like the orcs are under the Drow, or wage slaves, like we are. However, some of these might be some of these problems are more important to fix than others. We are surprised to. On a side note, Captain, we should point out that it is a novel experience to, we have worked with many captains under EdgeCorp. Many of them, all of them have very different attitudes towards the company than you have demonstrated. We wonder, why you seem to be so unattached to your employment at EdgeCorp.
Why are you so unattached to your employment at EdgeCorp, Moraeoth?
That is a very personal question.
Exactly.
We have stayed at EdgeCorp for 30 years. We have done what is needed to stay employed and fed. You have demonstrated an even more cavalier attitude towards continuing employment than we have, which is saying much.
Oh, well. We'll see what happens. Don't worry, Moraeoth. I'll make sure you're fed.
Okay.
Stick with me and everything will be alright. I promise.
Okay. what did you want to ask us?
Everyone else worried about what the Gridiron Authority is going to do with these guns.
Get her on.
Get her on.
Frankly, no. We getting paid? That's all I'm worried about.
I'm worried.
So all three of us have different feelings about it.
Yeah.
Nuna is uncharacteristically quiet and finally says,
Our supplier's employer does not have a good reputation.
Well, hate to say it, but none of the drow houses have a great reputation.
Even among their kind.
I don't want us to get in a lot of trouble. I would just like for us to see if there's anything we could do to nudge things in a better direction than where I think it's going. I don't know how to do that, though.
Well, the guns were delivered, and maybe the locals sort of just happened to be able to learn that they were delivered and they vanished in the night. That wouldn't really be our fault, would it?
We'll need to examine our options when we get there.
Great. Well, let's set a course and see what we find on the other side.
All right. I'm going to go make myself a warm cup of milk and turn in early.
Just for the
What's,
record, I think this is a bad idea, and Ketch storms off to the engine room.
One of these days, I might have to space that one.
Yikes. All right.
Just goes and makes more
So-
comfort food.
Flo just mumbles this to herself.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Doesn't broadcast it over the loudspeakers.
But no.
someday, Catch, I'm gonna have to space you.
One of these days, Ketch. One of these days. Bang! Zoom!
the moon.
Straight to the third moon of...
I will say, Leif and I have a plan for something like this to arise eventually. It's gonna happen. Don't worry.
Goodness.
Don't spoil. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is that you all are going to bring these guns to Voxa, and what happens.
Keep our options open.
Yeah,
See what
yeah,
there is to see.
of course. Yeah, get a lay of the land, as they say. But Stubble is. Good night, Catch. Work hard. Sleep well. We'll likely space you in the morning. But she didn't space me. In fact.
Turns out she wasn't the real Sloane either. Her name was Cummerbund.
Exactly.
So you enter the...
Might have had a Dread Pirate Roberts PF1 character for a while. What's our number of dice thing?
Go ahead and roll me 3d6 there, Nick, for going out into the vast, into near space. Wow.
That's a good roll.
6 days.
6 days. 6 days in the drift.
Man, good thing guns don't go bad.
Sure is. Yeah, that would be difficult if guns went
Gotta
bad.
be quick, the guns are wilting.
Yeah.
Oh no! At
Look,
least you
this
don't have a
one's-
hold full of cows.
This one's gone all floppy now. My God. All right. So
Days with a hold full of cows would be a long time.
it sure would. Okay.
with
Not that you're gonna have to
guns.
transport space cows or anything. So
Square pigs.
These days, we're gonna have to have a hold full of cows. Just saying, Tom.
don't read ahead. So upon exiting the drift, within 30 seconds, you receive a hail from a nearby ship. Once you get your bearings, you realize the ship is part of a large fleet in orbit around the planet Voxa. Upon opening up communications, you are met with a terse voice over your speakers declaring in common, "This is the Gitteron Authority attack vessel Falchion. Identify yourselves and your mission."
Attack vessel,
We're-
huh? Oh, darn, that was Nick. That was
We're
Mouse's
here
voice.
with a delivery. Do we have a contact here? A name?
Yeah, he mentioned something. One Commander Vash at Labor Camp 1120.
Labor camp.
Hey, Commander Vash at labor camp. Blah 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 blah. We got a shipment for him. Them.
All right. Very well. You are granted access to the landing zone at Labor Camp 1120. Do not veer from your course. They send you coordinates via your computers. Any deviation from this flight plan will be met with sustained anti-aircraft fire.
Got it.
That's not very friendly.
Heads up.
As the BD-514 descends through the clouds towards its destination.
Sounds like a great time for Morath to do a life science check on hobgoblins.
Oh, let's do it, buddy.
How about a culture check? Just to. Oh, God.
Goblins, they're goblins, but taller.
You're pretty sure that they're related to goblins, Maria.
Goblins, but taller.
Rolled a 9 to our listeners at home.
Yep. No, this is good. I like this.
I
Sorry.
got cut off there.
Okay.
I was gonna ask Auntie to do a scan of the planet as we cut off the transmission.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Okay, wow. That was 2 20s in a row. One for culture
Two
and
nat
one for
20s.
computers. Yeah.
Goodness
So
me.
And the
26 and
scanners
28.
give you a +2.
Okay, so that is
Wow.
a total of 30 for the computer check. But what Auntie Nuna knows about hobgoblins is that they're a militaristic people, generally speaking. They tend towards, if we're talking about alignments, lawful evil. They're not quite like the Swarm. They remind me a little of the Swarm because they sort of travel through places, and the Gitteran Authority in particular just sort of takes over planets. These are things that you know. I don't really have a stat block on hobgoblins pulled up to give you, hobgoblin facts necessarily. But yeah, they are good at teamwork. They work in squads and stuff like that for the military. They're very, again, militaristic people, similar to the Vesk, but just a skosh more evil. Although a lot of Vesk are evil too. Even if I gloss over this fact as a lover of Vesk. Yeah, that's okay. So, anywho, the computer's check is going to tell you, let's see. Sorry, I hear like things from my downstairs neighbors. I never hear things from my downstairs neighbor, and it's very disconcerting.
Disconcerting.
Anyway. As the BD-514 descends through the clouds, Auntie Nuna scans, and you're seeing signs of war and conflict becoming apparent. Blast craters and wrecked vehicles pockmark fractured highways. Shattered stumps of smokestacks rise from shutdown factories. And on the visual sensors, you're seeing a lot of tracks from war machines crisscrossing the countryside. Planets, it's got breathable atmosphere for human base, so to speak. So anybody who's
Humanoid?
Humanoids. Anybody who breathes oxygen is going to be just fine here. Not a very technologically advanced planet. Compare it to like Akiton in terms of what they're it's not. It might be Thastron like Akiton mines, the pre-drift engine fuel. But not a terribly technologically advanced planet in the grand scheme of things. Labor Camp 1120 comes into sight as you all descend further. A large rectangular compound nestled against the foot of a mountain, surrounded by high walls and spiral wire, accessed by a single enormous gate, and protected by multiple guard towers with gun emplacements. A flat landing area with several parked vehicles has room for the BD-514. A cavernous mine entrance leads into the mountain. The camp has several rugged, prefabricated buildings, including a barracks, mess, officer quarters, and storage depot, but also sports a large collection of plastic shelters that look like they provide little protection from the cold mountain air. As you land, the visual sensors on the ships show a small squad of 4 hobgoblin troopers approaching your ship. As you exit the ship, I presume, a female hobgoblin officer strides forward, waving a data pad. A squad of troopers at her back. What are you doing here? This camp is not cleared for civilian access.
We have a shipment for your commander.
You can't unload 50 tons of personal armaments here. She gestures behind her around the camp. Look around you. This is a prison labor camp. Do you think it's a wise idea to put laser rifles and frag grenades a few yards away from this desperate swarm of vermin? She gestures towards the, assembled dwarves, humans, and Sheeran. Prisoners in threadbare and sometimes tattered clothing. Some eye the starship curiously while also trying to avoid the attention of the soldiers. We don't even have a place to store them here.
This is where your flight control told us to land. It's either that or anti-aircraft fire. What can I tell you? You're gonna have to sort it out with them.
I'm not signing off on this. Not unless you take all of this someplace safe. We have an armory just up the mountain, and a couple trucks. I can spare some soldiers to drive one of them, but if you want your credits, you'll have to take the other. So, to be clear...
I suppose that could be arranged.
Let's just do it, Captain. Come on, this is turning out to be too much trouble than it's worth.
Excellent.
Rayoth writhes interestedly.
What kind of options do we have here?
You're surrounded by a bunch of military, and they're telling you to do something.
Yeah. Gus is, again, unhappy, narrowed eyes, ears down, but, understands he can't make much of a difference here.
Yeah, Sloan figures we can survey that armory and sort of see if there's a way we can help these people.
Yeah,
From there.
Auntie Nuna is
convince them.
Auntie Nuna is fond of the tactic of what's it called? Where you're basically purposefully incompetent or slow or whatever as a way to fight the power.
I got it. Well, it's gonna take a whole day to load these trucks, and my crew's contracts say they can't work more than 8 hours. But we're happy to load them up today and take them up to the mountain tomorrow.
She looks in consternation. That will be fine. I will provide 2 guards to watch you as you are loading your trucks and ensure that this rabble thumbs over her shoulder again. Don't give you any trouble.
Of course.
I will have them pull up the trucks so you can begin loading. And with that, she heel turns, walks away. And
Turns back to the crew with a wink.
I got very excited about the wink.
do they rather try the wink?
They try, but the face kind of falls in half and rolls over, and and it sort of looks like the features are melting. We are still practicing.
It was a good attempt, Hooray. It was.
Thank you.
Keep practicing.
All right, so as you all begin loading the trucks, you hear a disturbance from some cages to the north of your location. You turn to see a Sheeran fleeing from a veritable stampede of dog-like creatures, some of whom seem intent on devouring the poor unfortunate, while others just seem to be reveling in their newfound freedom. 3 approach your party, growling and staring at you with hungry eyes. We're going to need to roll some initiative here.
Oh,
no.
Goodness.
Are we going to need a nap?
These dogs seem that they are interested in flesh.
Not sure if we're supposed to be. No, there it is.
They look horrified. They look like the Keymaster and the Gatemaster.
Oh?
Oh goodness. Well,
Should we drag our
that was
tokens on the
unpleasant.
Yes, you may drag your tokens. Be somewhere along this one cargo rig here, to the left of the map.
Yeah, this looks like our cargo door. Probably would have walked out here to be talking.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, to be clear, this is like an hour of loading, hour into the loading process. So, you know, this isn't immediately after you were talking. You've been loading, etc. The Hobgoblin guards have, they're, you know, patrolling.
I'm for once going to position myself somewhere better than where it was, like back here.
Okay. All right.
Nuna, as always, at Sloane's elbow.
So yes, let us roll some initiative. Oh, I can close
Problems
Horizon.
with being squishy and the captain. Always in the front.
Yeah.
How much?
We've been traveling we were in the drift for 6 days, so I have all
Oh yeah, yeah. And you could have convalesced if you needed more HP and stuff like that.
No,
So let me find my Hobhound.
Harald had this problem a lot too. Nick, remember? I believe there was a whole episode named "The Captain Cornered."
Yeah.
I remember that.
Ooh, I'm gonna open this door.
That was right after we got those teleportation pucks too, and we didn't use them because we didn't think, you know, it's fine. Turned out that would have been great. Anywho, we rolled some initiative here. Wow, Morayoth once again with a 19 on initiative for a total of 23. Morayoth,
It's clear that these dogs want to eat us.
yeah, they seem to be the Sheeran prisoner that was sort of dashing towards you all has run behind you as you all just sort of like look around like, what?
The heck?
Yeah, exactly. And
Leif was trying to say something.
I'm sorry,
And
Liz.
I thought Leif was trying to say something.
Leif.
Yeah,
Were you
you're pretty quiet though.
Oh, weird. Not sure why that is.
Oh no, I can hear you now.
you're
Now
back
you're
to normal.
sounding normal.
How much advanced warning did we have with these dogs coming up?
I'll tell you what. Since the Sheeran is running past you all, away from these dogs, I'll say that you all could have drawn your weapons if you wanted to. Because
You, kind and benevolent GM.
I am that.
We're playing anything about a
So-
soldier ever again.
Okay.
Just re-solidify.
So yes, you all get to draw your weapons if you so choose. But yeah, the Sheeran has dashed past you, and these hounds just sort of look around menacingly. And yes, they stare at you with hostile intent, as the classic GM passphrase goes.
Morale, what's a life science check?
All right, Morayoth.
Could Sloan have gestured the Sheeran like into the truck, like
Sure.
hide in the boxes?
Yes. Morayoth's got a 10 on on their life science check. Leif, is it an
rolling the
immediate
rocks
problem?
on these? I'm sorry.
not an immediate problem, but I should be there between Marioth and Sloan. I don't know. I don't see myself.
Yeah, I see you. I see your token there.
You're to the left of Marioth.
Great. Okay.
Okay, cool. So Morayoth does not know anything about these. These look like dogs, Morayoth. You've heard of dogs before.
Dogs are not as intelligent as as most bipedal races. These
So-
look dangerous though. So we shoot one, the one that seems in front. Please do not attack. If you understand common, please turn around.
All right, so this,
That's it. Yep, 23.
yep. 23 is going to be enough. Believe it or not, and that is going to be 4 points of cold and electric, 1 electric.
Yep.
Okay, looks like all of that goes through. I'm sorry, were you shooting at red or who?
I'm indifferent.
All right, you
but-
shot at red.
Sounds good.
Catch, you are up next, having rolled a 23.
Indeed. I still can't see myself on the turn order. This is going to bug the absolute.
I apologize. I promise I do see you, though, and I'm keeping track.
All right.
Oh, I don't see him.
I'm not going to be able to
I don't
plan
see them either.
accordingly.
I don't see
Yeah,
them
are
on the
they on
turn
the
order.
GM
I saw
there?
that they rolled it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me just add a turn. Let me put in...
Oh, it was probably left over from the old one if you didn't clear it.
I did clear it. I don't know what's happening, but that's okay. It's not a big deal.
Well,
I moved catch up. Does everybody see catch? Nope, hold on.
I see catch now.
I see me now.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. We did it.
All right. Marvelous.
Heck off,
Thank
glitch
you.
gremlins.
All right. Catch drops prone as a free action.
Swift action.
Stabilizes the weapon with the bipod as a move action and fires at Red there over Gus's head. 19 to hit EAC for
Nice.
10 fire damage.
That is a big, big hit. So the fire hits the hide of this hobhound, and it snarls angrily. But you see some of the fire, some of the energy sort of disperse across its hide. Doesn't seem to have all gone through there. But it snarls at you angrily nonetheless. As we move on to Sloan Ryder.
Sloan is going to delay until after Gus charges.
All right.
Being a
Interesting.
intelligent woman as she is.
Yeah. Okay. I will move Sloan down the initiative tracker. Green has 3 targets. They're all relatively equidistant, and these aren't exactly super intelligent creatures. So we're going to roll a d6 here. I've got Sloan, Nuna, and Gus, who are not on the truck right now. So 1, 2 is Gus, 3, 4 is Nuna, 5, 6, Ryder, Sloan. Oh, this greenhound. Oh, I gotta have 35 movement speed, right?
I have a bad feeling.
It could charge.
I could. Oh, I didn't put in the speed for this hound. That's okay. It's on page 61 of the AP, not on the page that it's referenced.
Of course not. That would be
Oh
crazy.
yeah, okay, good. 40 feet. Whoop. So this hobhound is going to come up to Auntie Nuna and take a bite.
She's so sweet.
That is a 25 to hit Auntie Nuna's KAC.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That did hit your KAC plus 4.
Yes.
What is your KAC, Auntie Nuna?
14.
Okay. That does not hit your KAC plus 13, so you are grabbed as this hound latches onto you. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and it doesn't let go. You are now
Ouch.
grabbed, as per the condition.
Well, that's no good.
Sure ain't. Gus, it is your turn.
Well, I was going to charge Red, but now I'm going to walk over here and attempt to bring my seismic pick down on the head of this dog that is trying to grab Auntie Nuna. I don't like that. Let her go!
Okay, 13,
So 13.
EAC.
13 versus EAC. 7 damage.
That is going to be a hit.
Ooh.
7 big sonic damage. That goes right into this hobhound. Sloan, it is your turn.
Well, crud.
Sorry.
Now it's in my face. Now I can't trick. I have to tumble.
Every day they're tumbling.
Do you get a reaction against anybody other than the person you're grappling if you're grappling someone?
Yeah, grappling. Yes, you do.
Used to be you didn't.
That doesn't track, but okay.
13 is not enough. It gets an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
And
It
actually,
will
I don't
do the
want to go
thing.
that far away. That's too far away. Keep forgetting his pistol only has a 20-foot range.
That is going to be a 21 versus your KAC.
Oh, that hits.
Yeah, of course it does. So 10 points of piercing damage. Does that beat your KAC plus 4?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say, because it's biting at you, I am going to say that it lets go of Nuna to grab you instead with its jaws. Because that doesn't make sense if it's biting with a bite attack and then grabs you with its jaws and then grabs somebody else and bites. Yeah, I think this is a situation where I'm comfortable bending that a little bit because
I mean it'd be very silly. Like
if it suddenly had both of you grabbed with its really, really big jaws. So regrettably, Sloane is grabbed. The good news is it's used. Oh, and you take 10 points of damage.
Well,
the good news is it's used
grappled.
as reaction.
Grabbed is not a condition in Starfinder.
Yes, you are grappled. Sorry, PF2ism.
Well, that sucks. I'd already used its attack of opportunity, so I guess I'll just shoot it.
That's true.
And that's a 10 to hit, so that will miss.
That is going to be a miss. So we are going to move on. Hobhound, the red, is just going to come up here and flank with its buddy Green and take a single bite on Gus. That is a 20 versus your KAC, Gus. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and I'm not even going to ask. You are indeed grappled. In fact, with flanking, that was a 22. That was close to beating your KAC plus 13. So you are indeed grappled. And that is your turn. So their turn. So Auntie Nuna, you are up.
all right, well. Auntie Nuna. Can Auntie Nuna get away without an attack of opportunity?
So Green has already made their attack of
right,
opportunity.
great.
So, yep.
Oh man, Auntie Nuna, get the heck out of there. So she's gonna hop up onto the truck. And she's gonna tell Sloane, all right, Sloane. You saved me. I know you can do anything. And have an inspiring boost.
All right.
Oh, it didn't roll. Damn it. Okay. I'll have to continue playing with that.
So 4 points of stamina. Back to Sloane. And okay, we're gonna move over to Blue Hobhound. Blue Hobhound. Let's see. All right, yeah, Blue Hobhound is gonna come over here and roll between Gus and Sloane. Odd is Gus, even is Sloane. Sloane it is. So this Hobhound charges down. Not in the mechanical sense. And is going to take a bite at Sloane. But that is only a 12 versus your KAC, Sloane.
That'll miss. Luckily. just
Excellent.
barely.
Yep. Good, good, good. Okay, so top of the round. The guards that were guarding your ship are going to round the corner over here, and they are going to make an attack with their rifles, seeing these hounds sort of out of their cages. Shouts. They shout, and we're going to roll an attack here. Oh yeah. 15 versus AAC is going to hit these things, no problem. So the red hound is going to take 10 points of fire damage. However, as we noticed before, they shrug off some of that fire damage. Morayoth, it is your turn.
I might have lost track of this. Has Green been damaged at all?
Green has taken damage, yes.
Okay. I hit it.
So Morayoth will swivel away towards Green and utter to it, biped. Again, if you can understand, Common, please let go of our captain. We need her. And shoot it. Man, just these life science checks just aren't helping Maria figure out what anything is. We'll do a
Biological
full
life.
check.
How does that work?
Yeah, who knows? 11? You think?
That's not gonna hit it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Very well.
I love how awful your life science checks are, though.
Yeah,
It's
me
great.
too, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty great. All right, Marayoth, that is your turn. So it's on to Catch.
All right, gonna keep shooting at the one that I was focusing. Gonna use my move action this time around to kind of like dial in my Catch dials in like the fine tuning on the gun, and activate superior firepower on this red guy here that I was shooting at before. Marioth, you're flying now, right?
Not yet. No. Sorry.
All right, that's
One
okay.
of
I'll
us is
shoot
gonna have to
around you.
move.
One of these.
Oh, but
one of these days,
covers -4 in Starfinder. You've got to move, or I can next round.
I will. Okay, you're right. I will roll, crawl, whatever, 5 feet over here,
That is
staying
fine.
prone,
Yeah.
and I will just not activate superior firepower this round. Action economy is garbage at level 1 for a mechanic. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I
buddy.
hate it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. 14 to hit EAC.
That is going to be a hit.
Wonderful.
And this hobhound,
Eight reduced fire damage, I'm sure.
even with their reduction on that fire damage, you drop this hobhound. How does that happen?
Oh, wonderful. So Catch shot them the last round, kind of sighted them in, and then it moved to get Marioth between the two. And with kind of like an exasperated sigh, Catch kind of crawls up, kind of sort of through the bugs, like trying not to squish any.
Yeah. Get out.
And then with just like centering himself, just kind of lets off a haphazard shot that just luckily hits this thing and like kind of blasts it in the face.
Fantastic. Okay, so that was Catch's turn. Very important. That was a huge turn for bringing down that hobhound. Hobhound the green has Sloane grappled, but Gus hit it. So it is going to turn around and snarl in Gus's direction before taking a bite out of Gus.
Means it's not grabbing me anymore, right?
Correct. That is a 23 versus your KAC Gus. So please take the gift of 9 points of piercing damage. And as a reaction, something that I forgot to do with these guys last round, the green hobhound is going to worry you, which might be worrying, might sound concerning, because it is. You are going to be off target for 1d3 plus 1 rounds. So two rounds. Go ahead and make me a fortitude saving throw, Gus.
2 rounds.
You're pretty good at fortitude saving throws as a nanocyte. Yeah, that's an 11 on the die for a total of 15. So, Gus, you are only off target for 1 round now. You have reduced it with your fortitudinous. You are... and so you've taken your 9 points of damage, and we are on to Gus.
Hello?
Hello. I can hear you.
Okay.
I was muted. Sorry.
Ah.
Gus, not liking any of this, once again spends a swift action and a nanite surge, and where the dog has bitten him, it starts sort of pulsing with like writhing silvery mesh, sort of like trying to hold the wound closed, and it's like glowing a little bit with the reddish orange light. So fast, I have fast healing and the temporary hit points that will trigger next turn, and he's going to wow, this is dumb. Let's just fish for crits. I'm going to full attack, so with the off target it's going to be a -6/-6.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You know what? Crits can
I should
happen.
have told you to hold on. I should have told you to wait. I could have given you flanking.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
You haven't rolled any dice yet. You can do that.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
now
the
you've
dice
rolled
are
that.
rolled.
So two, subtract
Oh,
an additional
wow.
2. Subtract an additional 2, so it's
Oh.
13 and 17 versus EAC.
You know, if target's a condition you can toggle on your sheet in the future. But
Thank
I
you
have
for
good,
reminding me.
I have good news for you, Jet. You want to know the EAC of these hobhounds?
Is it 13?
It is 13, my friend. Those are both
Yay!
hits.
So
That is
that's
a 13
12
and
points of damage
17.
altogether.
For a total of 12 points of sonic damage. You want to know how many hit points this hobhound had left?
Was it 12?
12.
It was 12. Yeah, it was 12.
Nice.
Exactly
Nice
on the
job,
money on both.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is incredible. Gus, what a turn. Gus, how does this happen?
I think it's like probably biting him on the leg, and he's like, "Let me go!" Oh, and he just starts slamming the pick down into it.
Yeah,
And
one
it's,
hit.
obviously the vibrations are being passed into it, and it's like rattling its organs, and it just kind of keels over.
Yeah. The first hit sort of, seems to daze the hobhound. You feel its grip on your leg loosen just a little bit, and then the second hit, it just goes slack, just dropped. Excellent hit by Gus, and we are on to Sloan Ryder. You find yourself with one dog remaining, but it's still right next to you, regrettably.
Well, you said we had time to draw our weapons.
Yes.
So trick attack with the knife. What is this full attack marker on there? Never gonna happen. No trick, but 19 hit.
19
2
versus
slashing
Cac
damage.
is going to hit for 2 points of slashing damage. All right, so that is Sloan. Auntie Nuna.
Auntie Nuna's gonna shout out, "Good job, Gus. You're a good boy." Get 4 points back of stamina.
I'm a good boy.
I'm
Excellent.
proud of you.
All right, no move action to speak of.
No,
That's fine. Harald was getting hungry, I bet. Who am I kidding? He's got so many move actions to eat. So Blue Hobhound is going to take an attack on Sloan, trying to grab her.
No, none of that.
Ooh, yeah, some of that. That's going to be a 24 versus KAC for 10 points of piercing damage. And
So rude.
it's going to take its reaction to worry you, grabbing and shaking you. And so that is going to put you off target. Please make me a fortitude
I mean,
saving.
off target doesn't matter when you're unconscious.
Oh, no.
Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
like that.
well,
I'm
That is
exactly
that.
unconscious though.
okay.
Yeah.
And
I am
Then you are-
stable and unconscious.
stable and unconscious. Excellent. So the Hobhound, seeing this, is going to... I don't know what it'll do. We'll see on its next turn if it's still alive. So, Morayoth, you are up.
Marias will launch off of the truck flying over here 20 feet, and I guess I'm probably 5 feet up because the truck is 5 feet up.
Yep. That's fair.
And then fire down once at this dog.
It will take an attack of opportunity because you're technically 5 feet away from it.
Oh, you're right.
You're so
I-
brave, Mariath.
Yeah, I guess I may as well do. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Wait, no. What if I get grabbed? No, I don't like that at all. I'll go like up slightly, which probably means that I travel less. I'll be like over Gus,
That is fine.
or no, I'll just
Well,
move less. Yeah, I'll just
Attack
move
of
less
opportunity
and be
is
over
when
Gus.
you move out of a threatened square, not into.
Or when you ranged attack. Next
Yes.
To it.
Oh yes. Ranged
Yes.
attack will do it too. Sorry. I'm
Morayoth is not the melee variety of
Yes,
slaying.
yes. So that's one attack roll.
Indeed.
15 hits for 3 cold and electric.
That is a
Brr.
15. Yeah, that's a cold doggo. It takes all of that damage. It's shockingly cold, in fact, because of the electricity.
I get
Catch. Save us from my puns.
Ain't nothing I can do about that.
Catch protect.
Yeah.
Ah. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna take out my frustrations with the music on this dog.
The music's been going pretty well so far this episode. It's just
Yeah.
the random stops.
Better than the last time. That's all we can really ask for.
Definitely.
Sorry.
If
Okay.
you're all 5
Yeah.
feet this way, you can shoot without the.
Well, he's prone, so he can't 5 foot, right?
I'm also shooting over
Wow.
everybody's heads
As
from
you
like
move
what
back.
20 feet up. Like, come on, cut me some slack here.
You're not 20 feet up on the truck because the truck is like 5 feet off the ground. That bed. Remember, it's an open air.
Okay, so on top of those crates that are an additional what? Okay, so how high off the ground am I?
Call it 10 feet.
Am I still? Is he still getting cover from these people between me and him?
Yes. But if you crawl over here, it wouldn't be. To the south.
I will do it, but I'm gonna bitch and moan the entire time about my action economy.
I know it.
Yeah, we
friend.
know.
I know it.
It's
Let's be
it's
honest.
entirely prevented me from doing my like one special cool thing that makes me different from being just a regular bad soldier.
Prototype mechanics have trouble with action economy.
There's your crappy attack that doesn't hit anyways.
Do we have any
No.
+1s? And do
Um,
we have any rerolls?
I don't think we do.
No.
We're near in the end.
Well, and don't
Nope.
give them to me.
Nothing.
I'm bitter and I desire to remain bitter.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, don't
fair.
give them anything to be happy about. My goodness. So
Too many favors.
yeah. Butt Stubble gave you a +1.
I'll
Ah.
Double. They just asked for not that.
take that. I'm not going to waste it.
Oh, it's an
That's
epidemic.
10 damage.
That is going to be 10 points of fire damage into this hobhound.
So
Which
5 probably.
what makes you say that?
Just because I
Right.
happen to metagame. No, I just I know things. Increments of 5 seem to be a favorite.
Yes. It is your turn. Save your captain, who has been downed by this hound, who still has her in its jaws.
Gus kind of winds up.
Charge it.
Yeah, well, I can't really. No, go back. Stop. So Gus can step up here, and then I'll just come right in, and I'm gonna gore just because that feels right.
Us.
Do it.
I'm not
Do it.
actually charging though, so I don't have the penalties that I can ill afford. But I still rolled very poorly,
Yeah.
so
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
yep.
For me, the dog, because I'm a hobhound. So, sorry, 7 versus Cack is going to miss.
But I do recover 1 stamina point, and I now have 2 temporary hit points.
Very neat. Sloan Ryder, you are unconscious. Would you like to stabilize?
I am stable.
Sorry, you are stable. Would you like to wake up?
No, it's a trap. I remember what happened to Ripsy.
It is a trap.
Ripsy.
Ripsy. I'm gonna
All
stay right
right.
here where it's safe.
Fair
So-
enough. Auntie Nuna, it is your turn.
Oh, well, if that's how it's going to be.
Auntie Nuna's gonna take out. Well, Auntie Nuna has her weapon out this whole time, and she's gonna fire on the bad dog.
You're a bad dog, and I'm a good boy.
The 13.
Oh, a 13 versus KAC is going to be a miss.
No.
+1. We have a
Would a
+1.
14 hit?
The +1 would not help you.
Oh no.
That is mighty unfortunate.
It is.
Hobhound
It
the
would have been
blue.
really funny if she sealed the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have. Hobhound the blue was considering tucking in and you know,
Sloan's face, yeah.
eating Sloan. But luckily for Sloan, Gus presented a threat, and as most dogs are wont to do, when approached while eating a meal, the hobhound attacks. So this hobhound is going to attack Gus with its bite. Gus, A 25 versus your KAC is going
I am
to...
super grappled, as well as
You are, in
damage.
fact, as the turn goes, you are pinned. However, it might not matter because you take 10 points of piercing damage.
Oh, I'm still up.
Ooh,
I got
spicy.
1 hit point. I got one
Oh
hit
my
point.
god.
That is not where you want to be. That is not something to be happy about.
I
When are
know.
we gonna be
I
level
know.
2? When are we gonna be level 2, please?
You got
Anyhow,
this, guys.
not only are you at 1 hit point, you are pinned as per the condition. Let me
I just
find
need
out.
all of you to kill
Toggle
it.
on your sheet. Toggle it on your sheet.
The pinned condition, as we have learned in our previous games, is not fun. You are tightly bound and can take few actions. While you are pinned, you can't move and are flat-footed. You also take an additional -4 penalty to your AC, attack rolls, reflex saving throws, initiative checks, and dexterity-based skill and ability checks.
You want to know what my armor classes are right now?
No.
7.
7?
5.
Oh, right, because we get
God.
flat-footed. Yep. Yeah. Pinned is a vicious cycle, my friends. Don't
Yeah.
get pinned in Starfinder. It's a death sentence. Morayoth.
Please do not pin either my captain or whatever Gus's job title is.
Oh, and it took a reaction to worry.
Ship safety
Gus as well.
officer.
Please do not endanger our ship safety officer.
That would be
Not
ironic.
gonna safe right now, Russ.
A miss and a miss. Next turn.
Oh no, Morayoth. 1 and a 3 on the die. Moving right along. The shots fire wildly, catch as you look on and you see
The good news
God.
is you can
in the
do
jaws
your thing.
of this dog.
Yeah, you have both your actions. What a dream.
Is this the time for Catch to break out his cool mechanic thing?
Yeah.
Your firepower. Come on, catch.
Blake decides to move
Catch
Save
5
the
feet.
day.
Catch does what I keep saying he tries to do. He kind of like fiddles with some dials, boosts the weapon's output just a little bit, and then fires against blue here. 17 hit EAC for all of 4. That's not right. Nope, that's right. I just rolled a 3 on the damage.
It is
Damage?
regrettably
Plus
right.
any roll.
It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter.
That fire damage disperses entirely across this hound's body as it grips tighter onto Gus. Gus,
Oh,
I
You
can
are-
attempt to free myself with an
You do-
attack roll, acrobatics
No,
check.
no, just
Can you
kill
do
it,
the
no.
healing thing?
he is pinned. He can't do anything except
Oh yeah.
attempt to free himself, usually through an attack roll or acrobatics check.
If the healing thing is purely mental, you can do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
my fast healing
absolutely.
does happen. So I do get 1. Oh, actually, I'm at 3 hit points because my temporary hit points would have gone away first.
Right. Yep. Okay. Sorry. I thought you had calculated that in.
No, I'm still getting used to that. I apologize.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I wish I had a 4th bar so I could track 10 hit points there.
That would be nice.
I'm going to try and free myself with an attack roll.
Okay. 20's gonna.
I'm just gonna roll my gore just for the dice roll because that's
fingers crossed.
probably not enough.
That is not enough, sadly.
Oh.
What about
So-
15?
Nope. Believe it or not, Gus struggles against the jaws of this
Let
hound.
go! It hurts.
Sloane, you are still down.
I am.
Valiantly playing dead? No shame in that.
I am
Well-
valiantly playing dead, but now I'm starting to get worried. I'll spend 1 resolve for 1 hit point. I immediately get a turn. I stand up. Wait, can I take a trick attack from the ground?
Yeah, you just don't get to move. The Hobhound did use its reaction to off-target Gus. I didn't even roll it or have him roll because it doesn't matter because he's pinned. And he's not attacking anyway. So it did use its reaction to worry Gus.
Well, my pistol is fire. So I'm gonna trick with my
Nice.
survival knife again, attempting to
Stab.
anticipate its moves. 14.
You have a +1. I highly recommend that you take
How
that
do you use
+1.
it? Drug Cat Ninja.
That knife connects.
Yes.
4.
The hound.
4 slashing damage.
The hound is still up. It is
no.
this close. It's not looking good. Auntie Nuna, you are the last one before this hophound goes. What do?
And fire! She fires. She prays and fires. Oh, it's a 13.
Too
dead.
short.
That is not enough.
I'll get in touch with Anicola. Let her know we need more character art.
So, Auntie Nuna's shot goes wild, and the hobhound takes another turn. It is going to shake Gus a little bit, thematically, and then go in for the bite.
Shake it off, shake it off. Copyright whoever did that song.
That is going to be a 26 versus Gus's KAC
Come on.
for
I'm hit
9
once more.
points. Yes, for 9 points of piercing damage. I imagine Gus goes down.
I am down. Yes.
Yes, but not dead. Not massive damage.
It's only mostly dead.
It's only mostly dead. I feel happy.
And that's the second Princess Bride quote.
Reference today.
Track.
I always also
Magic,
connect that phrase with Monty Python and the Holy Grail with I'm not quite dead yet. Feel like I can go for a walk.
I'm not dead.
Anyhow,
Anyone, you'll be
Dead.
stone dead in a
I'm not
moment.
dead. Sorry.
Morayoth, get us out of here.
Yeah,
Come on.
I was remembering that I can't actually full attack while I'm in the air, right? Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
can move
definitely
action
can't.
turn.
Yep,
I
yep,
cheated
yep,
a little
yep.
bit. That'll
Not
happen.
until you are 5th level,
Oh, even
I
then?
think. Or
Nice.
maybe you can do it as a swift action instead for free. Whatever.
Well, it's okay.
We're not
All the people
public.
who are providing cover have fallen over now, so I'll return to the boxes and take a shot at this dog.
Why are they sleeping in red water?
Yeah, a hit for 2 damage. Solar flare.
Cold and electric.
Dude.
Cold and electric.
It is cold and electric.
Hold on, though.
How does this happen, Morayoth? How do you kill this hobhound?
Morath, Morath, has been repeatedly firing, purple blasts. And then, this time, they like, focus into sort of a cone and aim this time. Not really used to aiming. And then the force of this blast blows Morayoth back towards the truck, but then hits the boar right on the side, pushing it against the door, that like airlock there.
Oh man. And
The
that
dog.
hobhound goes down.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Catch goes before Gus, so Catch might be able to run down there and stabilize Gus.
That's true.
You're
Catch.
making some bold assumptions about Catch.
It's only a DC 15 to stabilize.
Oh, whether Catch would run down and help.
Yeah,
Catch.
Catch gets up, brushes himself off.
Fixes hair.
Oh.
Why
but
can
you
I
don't have
not?
the action economy.
Oh my lord. Okay,
Oh, for that.
never mind. I didn't want to write myself anyways. I genuinely don't know what's going on with my mouse today, guys, but it's completely conquered.
Weird.
Well, I will tell you,
Um,
Catch wouldn't have the time to get down there with a med kit anyway. Because
Yeah,
He
Catch-
doesn't need a med kit, but he does need a standard action.
Catch stands up, brushes himself off, and puts his gun back on his back with his move action, with his
Alright.
with his 2 actions.
and so Gus needs to stabilize.
I will spend a resolve point.
All right. And that safely takes us out of combat, as now Gus is stable, if unconscious.
Words.
I'm unconscious with 8 stamina
Yes.
after
So
8/10 of a minute.
we are. I understand that we are running behind. So now is probably there's a small interaction that happens after this. Would you all like to do that now or save it till next week?
Let's just save it.
Save it till next.
Let's save it.
We're
Yes, we will save it till next week then. So, yeah. That was, once again, more deadly than I thought it would be.
When are we level 2?
Level 1.
Oh,
When do we escape this
did-
hell?
did you want level
Well, the
2?
entirety of the first book is.
I
gonna
did want
be
level 2, yes, please.
this.
Oh, you wanted level 2.
I did want that, yes.
Yes.
Could we
go
have
ahead.
level 2, please?
Go take level 2. It's fine.
Oh, yay!
Yay!
The AP stated that once before you all arrived on Voxa, you should be level 2.
Ah, Tom, why did you run before this fight? Ah, you're having kind of benevolent. Guys, he's not kind of benevolent anymore.
Hey, I can't.
I knew you all
can't
could
say that,
handle
Nick.
it.
Never give up.
I knew you all could handle it.
Hey,
Look,
I'm liking it, Tom. I'm not upset. I'm just excited that I'm level 2 now.
you handled
was-
it, and now you really feel like you've earned level 2.
Sure.
That was,
did.
I mean, that was
Finally
dramatic. I
draw
went
my
down-
weapon as part of a. I can draw my weapon as part of a trick attack, right? I don't have to like do it as actually a move. Different type. It's a move
Is
action.
I feel like
Rules
I
is
feel like-
written. It's technically separate. That's why literally everyone should take quick trick.
Yeah,
I can't
Yeah.
have that till level 3.
I know.
yeah. But this is a discussion for off air.
Indeed.
So I
Like
need,
on our Discord channel, where you can come and
Yes.
talk with us after the show.
Of course, yes, we'll be in the chat. So my thank yous and mentions. As always, there is a new Cosmic Crit episode that should be dropping tonight. Check them out if you're not listening to them. You can find them on any podcatcher, just like us. So thank you, Leif, for running our audio today, as always, through Groovy, the musical Discord bot.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yes.
Worked a little better this time, and it'll work a little better next time, and we'll just keep going until it's working just fine.
We're just going to keep getting better. Our fantastic character art was done by Enicola. She is at Enicola on Twitter. Thank you to Paizo for the wonderful AP, and specifically BJ Hensley for writing Book 1, We're No Heroes, which has been giving our players a run for their money. And I'm happy. I hope they're enjoying it. So
Yeah.
thank you, Nick, for our stream assets, Simon for running the stream, all of my players for being here and helping me, as always, to tell this cool story, and for continuously throwing me curveballs. It's telling a good story and making this more our own, and I like that. And finally, thank you, dear listener and or viewer, for joining us. We wouldn't be a show without you all. So, am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't think so. Come hang out with us on Discord.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to
we'll
say
be in
thank you for
the.
running, Tom.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
thank
thanks
you
for running, Tom.
Of course. Yes, as always, we'll be in our general voice on our Discord. If you're not there, go join us. It's down below in the Twitch description here. And with that, say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Simon,
Goodbye,
take us into the drift.